Thompson lob to Iguodala. Two-hand slam, Andre.
Steph Curry. He can hit threes.
Barnes streaking down the right side. Goes up and dunks it down.
Got it to Bogut.
Oh, that was just sick.
Klay Thompson three. How he's feeling.
He's not human.
This building is insane right now.
After back-to-back road wins in Cleveland and Chicago totaling 65 points, the Warriors are back at Oracle Arena to begin a real homestand, the first of a three-gamer. I think the San Antonio Spurs are here on Monday. I haven't checked the schedule in a while. And then the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday. But we got big news for you. Our news alert, Steve Kerr is at last back. The guy who led the Warriors to an NBA championship a year ago and 67 wins, took a leave of absence on October the 1st and trying to recover from a spinal fluid leak caused by an off-season back surgery. It lasted way longer than he thought. He was gone 3 months and 3 weeks, but he is back tonight against the Indiana Pacers, and then he'll face his mentor, Greg Popovich, on Monday. We're excited Steve Kerr's back, but I'm even more excited Kelena Azubuike is back. How are you,
Glad to be back. I'm great, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. They're
Awesome.
winning. They're 39-4. Welcome to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. Greg Papa, Kelena, and the saintly one. Luke Walton did a reasonably good job, Saint. He went 39-4. But what does it mean, in your opinion, to the basketball team to get the real head coach back tonight and for Monday night?
I think in the locker room there'll be a sense of energy and excitement and happiness for Steve. I think he's so well respected by his players and coaches that he feels healthy enough to come back. And Kelena, we were talking today, I think a key that I'm going to see to focus on, I bet the defense picks up a little bit. I think that's the end where the energy's really going to be and the attention to detail.
I totally agree with you. And I don't think it's going to be too much of an adjustment. It's not going to be too much different because really what Luke Walton was, it was the same message but just a different voice. And now the original voice is back in the mix. The head guy in charge, the players are all happy to have him back. And like you said, I think they'll be motivated to play really well for him tonight.
Well, he's back, and that means you have to meet the media after the game, before the game. He just met him at 5:45, and he met him this morning at the shoot-around. And obviously, Steve Kerr is beyond happy to be back coaching the best team in pro basketball.
Team's been fantastic, coaching staff. Luke, what can you say about Luke? 40-3, but 39-4. We'll have to settle for that. Honestly, Luke is just an absolute star. He's humble and smart and loyal, and he just stepped in and did an amazing job, and the whole staff did a brilliant job. I think just being on the road with the team, I really felt like I turned a corner on this road trip in many ways. It's hard to explain, but you know, I've known for the last few months that I wasn't ready, you know, and after this past week or 10 days or so, I just felt like, okay, this is finally turning in the right direction, and now's the time.
Well, in the most recent trip, were you still experiencing any of the symptoms? Is it something you're going to be gutting through, or?
No, I feel good. I mean, you know, it's again, it's kind of hard to explain everything that I've dealt with, and I don't really care to. It's, you know, kind of a private matter. It's been confusing in a lot of ways. A lot of things I've seen a lot of doctors, a lot of different people who have helped, but the one thing I do know is that I've been coaching in practice every day the last few weeks, feeling better and better, and ready to go.
Yeah, and he's back tonight because he feels up to it. It has nothing to do with the fact the Spurs are coming in on Monday. The Spurs won their 12th in a row last night in Phoenix. They're playing the LA Lakers tonight. They're going to be off Saturday and Sunday, as will the Warriors, and we get ready for the two best teams in basketball, probably 40-4 against 38-6. How good is that going to be on Monday night? But let's find out about the return of the head coach We go courtside, bring Rosalind Gold-Unwoody, our courtside reporter, into Warriors pregame live, presented by Metro PCS. Obviously, a lot of energy in the building tonight, Roz, to get Steve Kerr back. But tell me about this morning and last night and how the coaching staff found out and the players. How did Steve Kerr tell them that he's back?
The way that I've heard it, Steve Kerr first told his family. And then yesterday, he gave calls to the coaching staff. And it was very simple. It was, I'm ready to come back, I'm coming back, and okay, coach. It was nothing bigger than that, a phone call last night. And then today, he told the team at shoot-around, around film session time. And when he announced it to the team, they all responded with such joy, hands in the air, cheering. And actually, Kerr tried to start talking again, but they wouldn't allow him to. They kept cheering, and he couldn't get the message out. There were a number of players who said they didn't expect it. They didn't know what day it was coming. They were surprised even. This was completely Coach Kerr's decision, his own word on when he was ready to step back in.
And he has been coaching for a long time. As you know, he's been running more and more practices. He's involved in the game planning, occasionally talking to the guys at halftime. But now he's going to coach the actual game on the sideline, Roz. So how will his presence be felt tonight, getting Steve Kerr back to run the game?
You know, I had the chance to speak with Jarron Collins about that, and the first thing he pointed out was, first, Luke Walton did a fantastic job of delivering the message, and the message being motivating these guys, holding them accountable, and leading them. But then he said Kerr brings the voice with the message, and that's just all of his experience as a championship coach, a championship player, and Coach Kerr, his voice has been heard throughout the season. This isn't just him popping in out of nowhere. Jarron said that during games at home, he's been in the locker room for every pregame, every halftime, every postgame, and he will actively chime in. Now you're getting his voice and his direction throughout the whole course and duration of a game. But what this means for Luke Walton, it's not going to diminish his voice either, because Coach Kerr, it's very popular and well known that he has a collaborative environment. He encourages the contributions from his coaching staff. If not anything, Luke Walton's voice will be even bigger, having come off of this role, and everyone's encouraged to chime in. So this isn't the diminishment of Luke Walton, it's just more for the Warriors.
Yeah, he's probably going to be here for a half a year and hopefully a long run of the playoffs. That Luke may be a head coach of the NBA coming up over the summertime. Roz, thank you. We'll check you out at 7:30 when she joins the game broadcast. And earlier today on Sports Talk Live, Luke Walton, who was 39-4 as the interim head coach of the Warriors, joined Jim Kozimar, and Jim asked him how he found out that Steve Kerr is coming back to coach the team tonight.
He said he wanted to give it a shot. He's been feeling better and thinks he's ready to do it. So, you know, he wasn't going to tell any, the media about it until today, because he wanted to make sure he still felt good today. And, we've seen him on the road. Yeah, they didn't do this to me when I was the head coach. Now that I'm the assistant, it's all starting up again. But he felt great again today, so he'll be running the show. I think the toughest challenge and adjustment is all the decisions that need to be made and how quickly they have to be made during a game, whether it's foul trouble or manipulating lineups to take advantage of things, but also being cautious of how long your players have been on the floor, and then making substitutions to get certain guys out so you can get them back in when matchups you like are going to present themselves later in the game. So there's a ton of different decisions that have to be made throughout a game, and they have to be made quickly. And the players that put in so much time and work, they have their trust in you to make the right decisions. So that was probably the most challenging and interesting experience of the job.
Yeah, the one down point now with Steve back. Luke is not going to be able to coach the Western Conference All-Star team, but the Warriors are going to have 3 representatives there. Steph is going to start the game. We found that out yesterday. And Draymond Green, what a snub he has been. He was passed not only by Kawhi Leonard, but St. Louis guy Zaza Pachulia. We're going to have to demand a recount here and find out what's going on. He will be an all-star, but for now, not a starter. We'll break it down on Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS.
Curry knocking it away. Curry to beat the buzzer. Good!
so much magic to his game.
Curry, three, good! Curry takes it away from Joakim Noah. Lob to Iguodala. Steph down the lane, and another three.
Yeah, congratulations to Steph Curry, who has the enthusiasm of an 11-year-old. And there, remember Noah Cutler, the 11-year-old from D.C. who did the 2-ball drill? We had the video. I like his haircut. He's got a little mohawk on his hair. He's gone big time, and here he is meeting his hero as he has flown out to say hello to a 3-time All-Star. Congratulations to Steph Curry. He will start in the backcourt with Oklahoma City's Russell Westbrook, who's going for a 5th time. Kobe Bryant in his final year and more votes, even more than Steph. He'll go for his 18th time. Only Kareem has been to more. And the front line is Kevin Durant. And the shocker is that Kawhi Leonard passed by Draymond Green. So Draymond had a 12,300 vote lead on Kawhi going into the final week, but he was passed not only by the Spurs superstar, which we understand partly, but Zaza Pachulia. A lot of votes from Georgia, not the state Georgia, the Republic of Georgia. Incredible. So let's hear from the All-Star starter and the All-Star snub.
That's a huge honor and something I'm very appreciative of, because, you know, it's 100% because of them. I mean, we play the game because we love it, and we play because we want to get the most out of it. And that involves the fans and their support and just, following that journey. So for them to show out and vote, my 3rd time, and that's special. So never take that for granted. I'm very appreciative and thankful that they got me there, because it's all them.
Oh, they were amazing. My Twitter was always blowing up because of the job that our PR staff did as far as getting me into the All-Star game, and I'm thankful for that. To be where I was, I can't ask for anything more, so I thank them for, just taking the time out their schedules, every day to promote me and give me the opportunity, to be in position to where it was even discussed. I can't thank them enough, because it meant a lot to me.
Well, he's taking it very well, a lot better than his mother. Mama Green was not happy. She was all over Twitter. Hashtag, we can't say that on family television. We bring in Monty Poole, our Warriors insider from CSN BayArea.com. So was Draymond just playing for the cameras? I mean, the whole basketball world is outraged that he's not starting the All-Star game. He will be an All-Star come Thursday, Monty, but he seems to be taking it very mildly.
Yeah, I think he is taking it very well. I don't think Draymond is outraged, and you're right. A lot of chatter in the last 24 hours about him not being named to that All-Star team. But you think about it, and yeah, he had a real good reason to be there. Leads the league in triple-doubles. He's second best player, second most important player on the best team in the league. Plays both ends, so there are a lot of things in his favor, but he's going against guys like Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant, to name 2 guys, and Kobe being in the front court this year, that obviously hurt him, and Durant's a former MVP, so you look at that, and Kawhi Leonard's an MVP in this current season, so which guy do you take out? If Kobe weren't retiring, I think Draymond gets in, but Kobe's retiring, so sentimental choice he is.
Yeah, they're going to make it, and Clay's going to make it on Thursday as well. And the Warriors will have 3 All-Stars in the game for the first time since the year after they won the title, 75-76. And that was right around the time Rick Barry started 3 consecutive All-Star games, Monty, from 74 through 76. Steph Curry is the first Warrior to do that. Not even the extremely popular Chris Mullin started 3 consecutive All-Stars. And I remember last year going to the All-Star game as the leading vote getter, the shootout competition with Clay, which I assume they'll do on All-Star Saturday night. But just speak to his celebrity. Now, Kobe got more votes, but he had far more votes than LeBron James. Steph Curry right now is at the very top of the NBA. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that if not for Kobe's retirement announcement, that Steph Curry would have led the league in voting for the 2nd straight year. He is that popular. Every arena the Warriors go to, you see Steph Curry on the court before games. You see throngs watching him go through his pregame workout. You see him signing autographs. He's become a terrific ambassador for the NBA. and not only just for the Warriors, but for the entire league and for the entire game of basketball. So his popularity is without question, and he is going to be an all-star for many years to come because people love watching him play. It's not just his actual performance, his production, it is the flair with which he plays. And so he's going to be around for many, many years.
And with Steph going and likely Draymond going and Clay going as well, you better dress warm on Valentine's Day weekend, Monty. President's Day weekend, you're going to be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and reporting for us on CSN Bay Area and CSNBayArea.com. So Draymond Green clearly is the snub. Jimmy Butler over in the Eastern Conference likewise. When you look at the numbers for Draymond Green, we know it's about his assisting and the triple-doubles, but his shooting this year, he's shooting 47% from the floor, and he's shooting over 41% on threes. Let's bring Kelena Azubuike and Gary St. Jean back into Warriors pregame live, presented by Metro PCS from the Crown Royal Club here at Oracle Arena with yours truly, Greg Papa. I remember you and I about 3 weeks ago, we were talking about Draymond's going to be an all-star this year. I said he won't start the game. There's too many more popular players, and you interrupted me and said, why won't he start it? And then a week later, Saint, he passes them all, and he's got the third most votes on the front court, and we think he's going to start. I'm surprised that Kawhi Leonard did pass him, even more shocked that Zaza Pachulia passed him. I don't know how that happened, but give me your reaction, because clearly he's playing all-star caliber basketball. There's no doubt.
Without a doubt. And I loved his humility, his passion and love for the Warrior fans and fans all around the country that understand that he's a very special basketball player. And I think Monty said it well about Kobe. If Kobe wasn't in there, he is a starter. There isn't any doubt in my mind. Kelena, what sticks out for me is first in triple doubles with 8, and then the point differential when he's on the floor. He's been fabulous.
I mean, yeah, Draymond Green should have started, but Kawhi Leonard is deserving of it also. I was kind of surprised, though, because I kind of feel like Draymond Green is a little more popular than Kawhi Leonard. But for me, the stats for Draymond Green don't even tell the whole story for me, because you don't get a stat every time a teammate feeds off your energy. You don't get a stat every time you get a hockey assist. You don't get a stat every time you set a screen. I mean, he does so many things. You talked about the 8 triple-doubles. And to be that good at that many things, you know how much time you got to put in the gym? You're not just going to the gym and shooting spot-up shots. No. You're shooting jump shots. You're working on your ball handling. You're working on your decision-making. You're probably getting creative, adding bodies in your practice so they can give you different looks, switch it up for you. So everything he's done this year is just a testament to his hard work. He deserved to start, but he'll be an all-star.
Yeah, the only stats that matter, he's 39-4. And I think it's the Warriors that should have 2 all-star starters and not the Oklahoma City Thunder. But you know what? Sometimes sports and life is just not fair. For instance, a head coach going 30-11 and he gets fired. Our news alert, David Blatt could not recover from Monday and the beatdown at the hands of the Golden State Warriors. He went 83-40 as the head coach of the Cavaliers. That is a 68 winning percentage. Tyronn Lue has signed a multi-year contract. He will take over the Cavaliers. So 30-11, Saint. I've seen it in football where coaches get fired after 14-2. Give me a comparison here. Who gets fired after going 30-11 and taking his team to the NBA Finals?
Well, there's expectations with LeBron coming back to Cleveland. Ownership is totally committed to a championship for that town. And the ownership listened to Dave Griffin. He felt that the chemistry in the locker room between the players and the coach wasn't where it needed to be to make them legit contenders against San Antonio or the Warriors. And I think you has noted Monday did have something to do with that shellacking.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like Tyronn Lue can come in and take charge. They weren't really using Kevin Love that great. They're just having some issues there. I think LeBron definitely signed off on this. Tyronn Lue is one of his guys, and it's clear in the NBA, the coaching lifespan in the NBA is getting shorter and shorter, and the high expectations come into factor. So it's not really surprising for me.
Well, think back to last year. The team the Warriors beat in the Western Conference Finals, the Houston Rockets, they fired Kevin McHale after a 4-10 start this year.
Tough
and
fight,
the team
man.
they beat in the NBA Finals, David Blatt, gets fired before the All-Star break, and he's 30-11. I know guys that were 11-30 didn't get fired. All right, but sometimes it's just not fair. And Klay Thompson certainly playing All-Star caliber basketball. We'll find out on Thursday that Klay is going to the All-Star game for a second straight year. So we'll break it down, the overall game of the Warriors as they go up against the Indiana Pacers tonight, trying to get to 40-4. And here is Klay Thompson. You know what that means when you play the Indiana Pacers and they're playing spread and small. He's going to get Paul George. He's going to guard him on one end, and Paul George is going to guard him on the other. It's going to be a PG-13 night for Klay.
Beware.
How many times are we going to pass before we shoot? How many? 4. 4! Set it up! Set it up!
They didn't pass it 4 times. You know, it's been 30 years since they filmed that movie at Hinkle Fieldhouse at Indianapolis. Hoosiers, starring the great Gene Hackman and the picket fence with Dennis Hopper. Warriors do pass the ball more than 4 times. There are a lot of coaches that insist you have to pass it 5 before you shoot it. 28.9 assists a game. The Warriors lead the NBA in that category. They've had 21 games this year with 30 assists or more, including back-to-back games. In Cleveland, they had 33 on Monday. And then Wednesday at the United Center, St. Louis, it was just a clinic. 38 assists on 50 baskets, which is an incredible ratio. But the stat that Steve Kerr likes the most, only 10 turnovers. So the last 2 games, 71 assists and 18 turns.
You can't play it any better than that. It's just beautiful basketball, and everyone in the Bay Area is so excited to watch them. And you got a couple examples of the movement without the basketball. The setups, how they read their man in front of them. If he overplays them, they go back door. If he's tilting this way, they run a split. Very simple concepts run by fabulous players.
The unselfishness is on display. I mean, it's got to be so much fun to play on this team. When I played, there was times when guys felt like they had to be selfish because they weren't sure if they were going to get the ball back, and they weren't sure if the unselfishness was going to get reciprocated. On this team, you have to be unselfish to fit in. Like, if you're selfish, you will stick out like a sore thumb. And it's contagious. I think of a play, I think it was in Cleveland, where Harrison Barnes was on the weak side, and Klay Thompson was right behind him, and he realized Klay Thompson's man is in the lane and help defense. So he just screens for him. They skip past it over to Klay, bang, hits the three-pointer. And that's the mentality of this team. He's thinking, he's out of the play, and he's thinking, what can I do to help this team? How can I get my guy an open shot? And you don't think Klay Thompson's unselfish anyway, but you don't think Klay Thompson, next time he gets a chance to do the same thing for Harrison, he's going to do it? Of course he is. I mean, the unselfishness, it's contagious.
It's amazing. After what they did in Detroit on Saturday, they had only 18 assists. They were a little bit selfish. They did not move the ball. They lose. They come back with 33 and then 38 assists in Chicago and Cleveland, 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And when you break it down, St. Louis, they finished 2-0 against Cleveland. It cost David Blatt his job. 2-0 against Toronto. We haven't played the Atlanta Hawks yet. 2-0 against the Bulls and 1-0 against these Indiana Pacers. And look at the points, 115.7 points a game. And last time we saw the Pacers on December the 8th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, they scored 44 in the first quarter, 79 in the first half, and 131. And Klay Thompson was out of his mind that night.
Well, I'm going to share with you, I'm looking for the exact same result tonight because of the problems. They've got 3 out of their top 8 guys out. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. Their only win was against Phoenix. They're giving up 117 in those games. So I think we're going to see a lot of points tonight, and we're going to see a heck of a performance with the coach coming back tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Klay Thompson is a problem for this team. He's had at least 39 points in 3 straight meetings with the Pacers, so they have a tough time guarding him. You got to stay connected to him. His shot he's got such a quick release. He's tough to guard for this team, so I expect him to come out and really be aggressive tonight looking for his shot.
Yeah, last time the Pacers saw him, he made 10 threes. They got so far ahead, and they had that hideous fourth quarter where outscored 40-20. Had to bring him back, and he turned his ankle, and he didn't play in Boston. He had to go to double overtime, but it'll be a great matchup. Paul George on one side. He was voted as an all-star again, 3rd time in his career, and a 2nd time as a starter up against Klay Thompson. George plays all over the floor, but I think it'll be Klay against Paul George for most of the night, and also Steph against Monte Ellis will be the matchup at point guard with the injury to George Hill. The Indiana Pacers got off to a great start, not playing as well lately, but Paul George, first month of the year, one of the best players in the NBA. He's tailed off a little bit, but we'll detail his incredible comeback from that compound fracture next on Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. Homestand, not these one-game homestands. The Pacers tonight, the Spurs on Monday night, and the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday night. We welcome back our weary travelers, Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett. We go courtside down to the floor at Oracle Arena. So obviously a very compelling homestand, Bob, with San Antonio coming in on Monday. But give me your thoughts on the big news of the day. that Steve Kerr is back and he will coach this basketball game tonight.
Greg, I think the timing is outstanding in that Steve had been traveling with the team. He's been so intimately involved with Luke Walton and the coaching staff. It's great to see him, and I would feel the same as Bob Myers, as he said publicly. We are having a great time this year, but there's always been that piece missing because everybody cares about Steve so much as a guy, a person, a dad, and part of our mix. And he's the leader. He's the one who put it all together and put the foundation in place. Not having him made all this joy still have a little regret. So having Steve now, you know, he's not 1,000% Jim, but he feels good enough to take a shot at it. I'm happy, and I'm just excited for him.
I'm very happy for him too, Bob. I'm just happy for him because to endure what he was doing and seeing the team, it's great the team was doing great, but they won the championship. You know, he would love to be a participant in all of those games.
Right.
So you got, what, 39 games left? I figure now with his expertise, they'll go 38-1. So that's what we should expect of him. No, I'm only kidding there. He's got to be so proud of what Luke Walton has done, but he laid the groundwork, the foundation, and so I don't think they'll miss a beat.
No.
But more than X's and O's and strategy or what the record will be, I'm just happy for him because he's a deserving person.
Yeah, you know, Greg, and you had, whether it was Iguodala or Ezeli or Mo Spates or Brandon Rush, it was always Steve texting and calling and talking to guys to keeping them included and involved. And it's how he manages people, not only his assistants, but the players that make him so special. Having him here, and Jim and I are really happy he's back because he sits a lot more than Luke Walton. We've seen a lot of Luke Walton's backside during key points in the game. No more of that. You know, as a play-by-play guy, you know, if Curry drives and we get Luke Walton's rear end, that's not really great television. So it's great to have Steve back for that.
Oh, Greg
I had
Popley
the
used to stand up and do the
300-pound Don
games.
Nelson in my way.
That's true. Nelly was even wider. It was worse.
I just remember you doing
Nelly
half
wore a
the game.
size 58 jacket.
Half the time, Greg, you would stand up and call the game. You didn't want to miss anything at all. And then when George Karl goes out in the playoffs in Utah, and I love the call, George Karl has lost it. George Karl has lost it. I thought that was all
back
heavy.
30 years ago. I still got the note from Canty Carl about that. That's why the fans gave me a
Steve will
seatbelt.
sit more. That's the point.
Yeah.
Steve's going to sit more. It's good for all of us.
All right, well, we'll check you guys. Barnett's in a good mood tonight. Must be an authentic fan Friday. All right, the Warriors are getting healthy. The Pacers are not. Congratulations to George Hill and his girlfriend. They had a child born the other day, but it was born premature, so he's not yet with the team. Rodney Stuckey, who gives them a lot of energy off the bench, is not going to play as well. Jan Mahinmi, who was their starting center, he was out for a while with a foot injury, rolled his ankle the other night in Phoenix. He, too, is not going to play. So we welcome Gary St. Jean, who never stood in my way when I was doing Warriors games, and Kaleta Azubuike back to Warriors pregame live. Barnett's in a rare mood tonight. We got to keep him out of the Crown Royal Club.
Watch out.
But Indiana, we saw him early in the year, Saint. They were the talk of the NBA. Paul George was off to a magnificent start. They're still 4 games over 500, a solid playoff team. But this team went to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, playing with those 2 bigs, Roy Hibbert and David West. They've completely changed the way they want to play now.
Well, they've gone to the more look like the Warriors with 4 out and 1 in. Now, you're going to see tonight Jordan Hill, an Arizona guy who was with the Lakers a little bit. He's a nice standstill shooter from 15 feet. Lavoy Allen out of Temple, nice backup player. Those 2 guys are starting. And we'll see George at the 3. We may see Miles, a good shooter from the perimeter. But the key is that Monte's got to move over. And I don't think he's as good when he's at the point guard. But right now, he is their best player because George's game has come down appreciably.
You're saying Monte Ellis is their best player over Paul George?
The last 3 or 4 games. And I'm going to share one guy to take a look at tonight, Kalena. Watch this guy, Miles Turner, the rookie out of Texas. This guy is an up-and-coming player.
Yeah.
Picked in the middle of the first round. I think they found something special.
Yeah, Joe Young, too. They've been getting
him, too?
Oregon.
They've been getting some good production out of the rookies, and they need that. With those key guys out, it's an uphill battle. It's going to be tough for them to face this Warrior team, who's the best team in the league. But like you said, there's been some slippage on defense. They can be had on the boards.
Yeah.
they're scoring about 102, 103 a game. So it's an adjustment with those key guys out. So they're going to need other guys to step up and play big.
Miles Turner is a good pick and pop guy.
Yeah.
Zeele's going to have to cover him out to 18 feet. Both those guys, Joe Young and Miles Turner, will play off the bench for Frank Vogel. Let's check out the starting lineup for the 23-19 Indiana Pacers. It is Monte Ellis at point guard with George Hill out. That is Big Dog's son. So we'll call Glenn Robinson III a puppy.
Little dog?
I guess he's a puppy. And they are going to start Solomon Hill, the wisdom of Solomon. He's fallen out of their rotation. Lavoy Allen was starting. They're going to start Solomon Hill, and Jordan Hill will also start, the former Arizona Wildcat who was taken one spot behind Steph Curry to the New York Knicks back in 2009. And Paul George, PG-13, congratulations. He is an all-star once again. The whole NBA is cheering Frank Vogel's star coming back from that compound fracture about 18 months ago.
So proud of him. You know what I mean? I talked to him this afternoon, and you see that happen, and you don't know if you're ever going to play the game again or walk the same again. And to come as far back as to get in some games last year and just return to the court was a huge accomplishment in my mind. And obviously getting back and becoming even stronger over the summer, and showing what he did in November, being the player of the month, and now earning a starting spot on the All-Star team it's really a remarkable accomplishment from when you look at what he went through. It's just remarkable. There's no other way to put it.
All right, let's check out St. Lee scouting report on the Indiana Pacers. Kalena told you they score about 102.5 points a game. They're still a very good defense. In all the defensive metrics, they're number 3 in the NBA. The Spurs are 1, the Warriors are 2, and the Pacers are 3, and they're shooting the 3-ball way more. They have gone to a spread offense, they call it, kind of like what Chip Kelly's going to run for the 49ers, just more of the small ball look. And they wanted to play Paul George St. Lee at power forward. He doesn't like that as well, so C.J. Miles is playing more the 4, but Paul George, whatever he's playing, he's just a heck of a good basketball player.
Well, he's got the whole package. First, he's a premier defender. He's really worked on his range and can knock down the 3-ball. If you get him out in transition, he's really special. He's got a mid-range game. He likes to shoot going to his left and finish at the rim going to his right. Very, very well-respected player. The guys in the league are happy that he's come back from that terrible injury with USA Basketball. This is really one of the best young players we have in the league, and I'm curious to see how well he plays tonight.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah, he's a great player. It's great to see him back after that horrific injury that he had at USA Basketball. Like you said, his play has dipped a little bit over his last 8 games or so. He's averaged about 19 points. He's averaging like 23, 24 on the season. His three-point shooting has dipped a lot, too. He's under 30% now in that same stretch, about 8. It's his legs. He's dealing with a calf issue. He's got a calf issue. And the Pacers as a whole, their three-point shooting over the last 8, 9 games has been under 30%. And then the Warriors have been holding teams like their last 5 games to like 25% from 3. So if they can't hit threes tonight and the Warriors do hit a bunch of threes, that could be a problem.
Remember, Paul George is from Fresno State. He did not play here last year. He only played 6 games coming back from the injury. I remember a game he had a couple of years ago. He had a hideous shooting game. He could not make a shot, and he locked himself in the gym after that game and learned to become a better shooter. Not a gifted shooter, but he is a scorer, and it's going to be a great matchup with him on one end and Klay Thompson on the other. All right. We're going to go back. Monte Ellis is in the gym. We'll see what kind of reaction the crowd gives for former teammate Kalena. Well, we got to go back to the trade. And then they moved Joe Lacob off the stage a couple of days later when Chris Mullin's jersey was retired. But it really was the first domino that fell. Trading Andrew Bogut for Monte Ellis made this team a championship team. We were talking about Miles Turner. This big guy had 25 in Denver the other night, came back with 12 more in Phoenix on Tuesday night, and he will wear you out all night with the pick and pop.
The perfect
Hey, 1 second here. Come on, people. You fans are the greatest fans in the world. As everybody said that. Show a little bit of class. This is a man that I've spent some time talking to. He is going to change this franchise. This is crazy.
Thank you, Rick Barry. Wow. That was 6 days after the trade. Andrew Bogut to the Warriors, along with Steven Jackson. Remember this trade for Kwame Brown, Epi Udoh, and a guy named Monte Ellis. So they're not booing anymore, as Andrew Bogut is an NBA champion. Look at the numbers. These are Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business, NBA net rating and league rank. These are just for starters. You have to make 15 or more starts, so a guy like Andre Iguodala does not qualify. But I think that's pretty much your entire starting five for the Warriors. And Tim Duncan and Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. So some of the best players in all of basketball. Where were you that night? Sure, nobody helped me there at all.
I'm sitting on the floor with Nelly, and you're up there with the mic, and Nelly's saying to me, "Hey, Saint, what are they saying? I can't hear them."
And Rick Barry's looking at me saying, "You better go up and do something." I'm not going to do anything. And then Rick took matters into his own. But it's amazing. And you were a teammate of Monte Ellis's, obviously. He was a gifted player. Yeah. He's immensely popular. But when you trade a small for a big like Andrew Bogut, it changes the complexion of your entire franchise.
Definitely. And the thing with Andrew Bogut, his stats don't do his impact justice. Exactly. I mean, we've seen some of the plays he's made. He's had an impact on the game without scoring a point at times. And I love how he's always in help defense. There's always that anchor for the Warriors. If anybody gets broken down off the dribble on the perimeter, he's always there to help his team out. And I love how his teammates help him out too. We saw, we were just watching a few clips earlier where his teammate V'd back for him once he came to help the helper. So it's attention to detail, and that was one of the things that they didn't have in the Denver and the Pistons game, was that attention to detail. They plugged those holes, and those last two games, obviously, they've been on point.
Yeah, they had it in Cleveland, and they had it in Chicago. Sandy's going to break it down with the Saint Illustrator, presented by Metro PCS. Andrew Bogut, he had 6 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 20 minutes, Saint, and his back wasn't real healthy the other night.
I love it. Now watch the big fella fill this left wing. As soon as he sees daylight, he turns it on, and he fills the wing. We haven't seen that since he's come from Milwaukee. I love that play. Now watch him up there in the high post. This is where he's extremely dangerous. That's what we call a dribble handoff. Now it becomes special when he nails Curry's guy. Wham! And then it just creates space, and that's two great IQ basketball players connecting for the lob. Now watch him here on D. Watch his head. He's looking all the time. He's looking to help that strong side post. He's got an eye on Gibson. He touches Gibson, and then watch how he releases and goes and get this rebound. We call him a position rebounder. When the ball's in his space, he doesn't miss. He's got great hands and instincts. Now, he's showing on the way back on D. He covers the post man a little bit. He's got Gasol on the weak side. This is what Glenn is talking about. As soon as he smells the guy going for the basket, he comes over, and then Rush has got to go put his man on Gasol. That's the V-back action. Now watch him back here. He's sizing this thing up from the three-point line. He sees an early offense play. Look at the timing he's got on that. You can't teach that. Yes, he's big, but he has feel for the game that is just unique and special.
Great player. There's no question about it. He was a good player when Mark Jackson was here, but he's a much better player under this coaching staff. He has really been invigorated by the change in what Steve Kerr has brought, and now Steve Kerr is back to coach the game tonight. Our Fallon Smith this morning at the Warrior shoot-around sat down with the Warrior big man, Andrew Bogut.
So the big news, obviously, you get Steve Kerr back on the sideline. What does it mean to have your head coach back?
It means we've got our head coach back. It's great. You know, he's had a rough couple of months. I think more so that it's a benefit for us. I think it's a benefit for him to get back out in that routine and that rhythm, and we're happy to have him.
I know Luke Walton has done a phenomenal job, but just what does Steve Kerr bring that, you know, obviously an assistant can't?
Experience. I mean, Steve's been around the coaching and the GM tables for a lot more time than Luke has. Even though Luke did a phenomenal job, I think the experience of Steve will definitely be something that we can use.
So let's talk about what this team has done over the past week. After the worst game of the year, you guys followed it up with blowing out two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. What was it about the Detroit loss that had this team refocused?
It wasn't just a Detroit loss. We thought there was some slippage probably 2 weeks prior to that. Even in some of our wins, we weren't playing the brand of basketball that we're used to. And I think it was a good wake-up call for us. I think we needed that Detroit loss to kind of rattle us a little bit and get us refocused. And after that game, we kind of said, hey, you know, we need to get back to the way we know how to play. And if we do that, we're going to keep winning games.
Well, you personally are shooting a career best 65.5% from the field, averaging over 7 rebounds and just under 2 blocks a game. But with that said, what part of your game do you take the most pride in?
Obviously, defensively, we have so many offensive weapons that, you know, try to affect the game defensively and communicating and blocking shots, taking charges, grabbing rebounds, doing the hustle plays. You know, we got a lot of guys that are very talented scoring the ball, so I'm happy to do the dirty work down there and try to get us extra possessions with offensive rebounds and that kind of stuff.
All right, so today is Flashback Friday. You know what that is?
No.
Come on, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I don't know what it is.
Okay, Flashback Friday. So we're going to go back to August when I went to Australia, actually, with the Cal men's basketball team. My husband's on staff there, and we visited your old stomping grounds, the the Australian Institute of Sports. You're very popular there. And I found this little gem on the, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is Andrew Bogut as a teenager. You like that?
Yeah, a bit of acne, some blonde tips in the hair for the girls. It's not bad.
What do you remember about this time?
It's part of growing up. I moved out of home for the first time at 16, and I didn't have my parents with me. I had to do all, you know, wash my own clothes and do all that stuff. So it prepared me well for college and the NBA.
Well, guess what? It wasn't as bad as Matthew Dellavedova's. You want to see his?
Yeah, why not? Oh, definitely not. Is that red?
Yes, he looks like a.
He must be dyeing his hair now. It looks blonde. But,
I don't know if you guys can see that. That's pretty bad. Dalley's looking rough right there.
We'll have to find some of your childhood photos and put them up next time.
Yeah, actually, let's not do that.
It's Googleable.
Yeah, it is Googleable, I think. Okay, with that said, we're talking about the offseason. You guys getting a little bad rap. The Los Angeles Times just came out with a story of they interviewed 24 players, and they voted you and Dalley as the top 3 dirtiest players in the league. Now, in my opinion, you guys just play hard. What's your take?
Who are the 24 players?
Anonymous, so I don't know.
So that's about as much weight as that survey has and that journalist has. It's an absolute joke. I can go and interview 5 janitors here that remain anonymous and get you a survey on whether you're a good interviewer or not, and we'll get some results. It's unless someone's going to put their name to it, anonymous sources in this league take it with a grain of salt.
But really, is it just you guys about playing hard? Because back in the 90s, I think you guys would just be beasts on the court.
Check how many technical fouls and flagrants I have this season compared to some guys in the league. You know, it's no coincidence that it's always international players. So, I mean, there's a bit of a stigma there that certain guys don't like playing against international guys, and we play hard. You know, it's physical down there. There's some holding and grabbing, but it definitely goes both ways.
Touche. All right, thanks for being a good sport.
No worries.
All right, Pod, back to you.
That was interesting. Young Andrew Bogut looks like Tom Brady, and Matthew Dellavedova looks like Carrot Top, I think. But the beauty about Bogut is there's no BS with Andrew Bogut.
I'll tell you
and
how
that's
you
why
feel.
this coaching staff, I think, really appeals to him, because they're straight shooters, and he's a straight shooter. And it's just great to have him healthy and playing at the top of his game and part of an NBA champion right now after all the years of agony he had in Milwaukee, Saint, because his body was breaking down on him.
Yeah, you know, and think about this, Kalena. You're the player, and the new coach flies all the way to Australia to see you, and he wants to talk about how he's enthused about how he's going to use you. We know you're one of the best defensive players in the year, but I want to have you play in the low post and the high post, and I want the ball to work through you. I think the big fella and Steve Kerr have something really tight together, and it's special.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's perfect for this team. He's talked about his passing ability. I love how he said there in that piece he takes pride in his defense. And you could tell. I mean, the timing is just impeccable on the shot blocking. He's not the most athletic guy in the world, but he's going to get to that shot, and he's going to get to that shot block. So he's great for this team, and I love what he said about the him being dirty thing. I don't really think he's that much of a dirty. I don't think he's a dirty player.
All the Australian guys, they think
guy.
are dirty. They play hard.
That's what it is.
He's physical, but he's not dirty.
Physical, yeah.
I think the one thing without Steve Kerr, Saintly, they didn't run the offense through him at the high post. I think you'll see that more starting tonight with Steve Kerr back. Here's your starting 5 for the 39-4 Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in the backcourt. Harrison Barnes at small forward. Draymond Green at power forward. And I think you met Andrew Bogut a moment ago. Steve Kerr, it's going to be a night of high emotion as he makes his return to the sideline, coaching a Warrior game for the first time since June the 16th, the NBA Finals last year.
You know, I got some butterflies. It feels like the first game of the season, you know, and which it is for me. But fortunately, our team's in a pretty good groove, and hopefully we can keep going and keep playing the way we have the last couple outings.
Steve, along those lines, what was it like walking into the building today? Anything feel different, or just knowing that, you know, it's your season debut?
Yeah. I mean, it felt good. It felt. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I'm excited, and so walking into the building for practice, hadn't told the players yet. I told the coaches last night, so it was kind of funny to see their reaction, and it meant a lot to me. They were, it's our usual environment in the practice facility. It was there was a lot of laughs and joking around and a lot of fun, and that's how we like to keep it.
Hey, Steve, you guys all did pretty well last season. Did you ever worry during all this time that coming back, things just wouldn't be the same, that it'd be hard to recapture that for whatever reason?
No, I really felt at the beginning of this year and over the summer, I thought we'd be better this year, just because in general, with a new staff and a new offense, it takes a full year to really grasp it and get to the next level where it becomes second nature. And so I thought we had a lot of growth that we were going to make, and I think we've made it. And didn't matter whether I was here or not. The players made that leap. The coaching staff did a great job. Ron Adams has been phenomenal. He doesn't get enough credit. And Luke and Jaron and Q and all the guys, just brilliant work. But yeah, second year, the things tend to click a little easier, and I thought we'd be better, and I think we are better, but it doesn't guarantee anything. We just got to keep playing.
Yeah, in about 10 minutes' time, he's going to coach his first Warrior game since June the 16th, but that was in Cleveland. First time at Oracle Arena since June the 14th, Game 5 of the NBA Finals. I can't wait to hear the reaction of this crowd when they announce the coach is back.
I'm telling you, there's butterflies, and there's nothing like walking out of that tunnel as a coach, walking on the floor. You love the game, and you love being part of the Warrior family, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, I'm sure the players would love to pick up where they left off with Luke Walton. They've been playing great lately. Yeah. They get great bench play. Andre Iguodala looks as athletic as ever to me. I mean, I played like a few years in the league and my kneecaps fall off. This guy's been in the league 12 years, and he's jumping around like he's still in high school. This whole team's playing great. It's good, man.
All right, we are going to show you the introduction of Steve Kerr back on the sideline. The two-ball drill is done. Noah's pretty good, and you meet the three-time All-Star. Warriors basketball is next.
Are you sure I'm seeing okay? Well, let's...
The Warriors have regained their leader. After 43 regular season games, Steve Kerr is coming back to the sidelines tonight. Under his guidance, Golden State claimed their first title in 40 years. And this season, his protege helped steer the defending champs to the best start in NBA history. The head coach returns on an Authentic Fan Friday right now. Midway point of the season, and Steve Kerr returns. And for the head coach who already has a title, he's got the jitters of Game 1.
I got the butterflies. It feels like the first game of the season, and which it is for me. But fortunately, our team's in a pretty good groove, and hopefully we can keep going and keep playing the way we have the last couple outings.
A sold-out Oracle on a Friday night. Indiana in town. Steve Kerr's return brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob. He's Jim. Steve's back, and the Warriors are playing great basketball. Finally home, and it's good to be home.
I'm very happy for Steve Kerr, and he's inherited a really good basketball team.
The question is, can the Warriors play any better? If you saw the last two games against Cleveland and Chicago, I know you can't get to perfection, but this is about as close as you can in the NBA.
Beating perhaps the two best teams in the East on their court. They manhandled both these teams, beat them by more than 30. It was offense, but that defense was awfully good for him, too.
So you get the coach back, and you have 3 straight at home, all against playoff opponents. It will be a challenge. Big news in terms of the NBA All-Star starters. Steph Curry's going to Toronto. Deserves to be a starter. The MVP is even better this year. He will be leading his team against a Pacers squad that loves to get up and down. Warriors and Pacers on a Friday night. We're back at Oracle right after this.
I'm Rick Welts.
That against Indiana got a lot more interesting. The return of Steve Kerr. The live introduction of the head coach is coming up next. Inside Oracle, the conclusion of the starting lineups and the return of Steve Kerr.
And now the Pacific NBA season, number 30, Stephen Curry! The Warriors head coach is Steve Kerr!
Very nice moment, and Steve wants the cameras off him. He wants to get back to his job. He's got the Warriors humming along, playing great basketball at 39-4, and a homestand with 3 straight playoff opponents in Indiana, San Antonio, and Dallas. And that will make 6 straight playoff opponents. And in this stretch of schedule, after losing to Detroit, Jim, I don't know if you can play any better than Cleveland and Chicago. The Warriors are humming along.
Well, as Steve Kerr said before the game to the media, it was good for the Warriors to get thumped by Detroit. It kind of gave them a wake-up call. He said they had not been playing good basketball, lackadaisical, for about 3 weeks. But they're a championship caliber team, and they responded. Those 2 games were absolutely brilliantly played at both ends of the floor, and neither Cleveland nor Chicago had a chance after about the first 3 to 4 minutes.
Our Xfinity starting lineups. First for the Warriors was Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. Brought to you by Xfinity with Monte Ellis, Glenn Robinson III, G-Rob 3, with PG-13, Paul George, Solomon Hill, and Jordan Hill for Frank Vogel. This is a Pacers squad that comes in at 23-19. They score the 8th highest number of points. They allow the 8th fewest. Very good on both ends of the floor.
Take a lot of threes.
It's showtime, everybody!
And the newly anointed all-star starting guard, Steph Curry. So January will be the 17th straight winning month for the Warriors.
Solomon Hill is getting a start because C.J. Miles, who usually starts, has been in a shooting slump for the last 3 weeks. So this will be the first start of the season for Solomon Hill, their their third-year player, first-round pick back in 2013 for Indiana.
Warriors beat the Pacers 131-123 in Indy in December.
And that's when Klay Thompson went off for 39 in the first 3 quarters alone. That first half, I think, was probably as good a basketball as you see. Paul
George losing the handle. And Draymond got it back somehow to lay it in.
Well, I thought he forced the action. He's fortunate to get it back.
It's interesting. Steph Curry's guarding Monte Ellis. They switch now. Keep an eye on that matchup because Monte, the point guard now, as Jordan Hill missing the jumper. George Hill has become a father. He will play in Sacramento, but he is with his newborn. And Rodney Stuckey's out with a bone bruise, so they're depleted at the point guard spot a little bit. Klay Thompson is fouled. Rodney Mott, J.T. Orr, and Josh Tiven will blow the whistles. Frank Vogel has his team very prepared, both offensively and defensively. And after the Warriors put up 79 in the first half in Indy, built this big lead, the Pacers came nearly all the way back.
Yeah, the second unit did not play well. They had to bring the first stringers back, including Klay Thompson. But he never scored after that, ironically. That's how tough Indiana made it on them defensively.
Yeah, Klay got injured after coming back into that game. Hold that ankle. Jordan Hill inside, and Indy's on the board.
Undersized center for them. But it'll be tough on Bogut because he likes to shoot from the free throw line area.
Steph Curry hitting a 3. He did your trick. He ran Pacers into each other.
You can do that. Yeah, run your defender into his own teammate.
So 115 straight games with a 3. Kyle Korver at 127 is the NBA record.
You see, Indiana likes to run a pick and roll from the elbow, and they're getting something out of it.
Bogut blocked Jordan Hill, but Solomon Hill, that's his game. Energy player, clean it up on the offensive rebound.
Warriors run their pick and rolls up at the top most of the time.
Klay Thompson springs free. Bogut found him. And Paul George will track down the rebound. One thing with Indy is they want to get up and down with the Warriors. They want to shoot threes. And so you may see quite the transition game. George missing the jumper. And Steph off back iron. A lot of Eastern teams don't want to run with the Warriors, but Indiana's rebuilt and revamped with David West leaving as a free agent.
Yeah, they've changed their personnel, and they do run more.
Solomon Hill missing that layup. Might have been grabbed. Couldn't extend. And Draymond running, and Klay Thompson, good view and good vision.
I just love the way Draymond Green runs, with or without the ball. He does that as well as anybody on the club.
Jordan Hill, pretty clever, pretty smooth.
Well, he's a natural power forward, and it's a little different matchup for Andrew Bogut.
Jordan Hill, the player selected after Steph Curry in the draft.
I don't like what the Warriors are doing right now. I know they scored a couple times there, but it just, to me, they're just not passing enough. That's a little better.
And the passer resulting in the open 3.
Yeah, I just thought they were trying to score too quickly in their offense and rushing the shots, trying to manufacture it and make it look too easy.
Indy using an early timeout. The Warriors, #1 in the league in assists. So when they move it around, they could be lethal.
I'm Andre Iguodala, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the NBA champs.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up 6 on the Pacers. Steve Kerr shared that he felt he really turned a corner during the last road trip. Assistant coach Darren Collins said, hey, there might have been some signs that Steve was starting to feel his juice and energy again. During the trip in Chicago, Steve Kerr took the whole staff on a bonding trip to Second City, an improv comedy club. And Kerr was brought on stage to share memories from his playing days, while the improv crew acted out funny interpretations. And Darren Collins said, Kerr showed his wit, his sense of humor, his energy, and that his condition had improved a lot. It was a great sign and a great moment.
Yeah, but Steve was thinking, do I really want to get on stage and do some improv? But he said, now or never. And was really himself, or more of himself, on that Chicago part of the trip. And great to see him back. Harrison Barnes inside and staying with the play. Great second effort.
I believe it just off the lip of the rim, made it legal. No basket interference.
That's the yet unexplored part of Harrison, Jim. I think he could be an amazing offensive rebounder.
Yes.
He just has that ability and a lot of size advantage at the small forward.
Well, he's terrific from the corners with that three-point shot, but I still will say this about Harrison. I'd like him to develop a first step, a go-to move, and a good first step from that triple threat position that he has.
Then Robinson got that extra possession, but Indiana can't capitalize. Draymond, the early rim run, put it in and drew the foul.
Yeah, this team will take a risk. Draymond sealed, throwing over the top, and it worked out for him. He's had a couple of near misses, near turnovers. This is very tough, but is there anybody in the league that wants the ball in any situation more than Draymond around the basket?
Good to see him hit that free throw. Draymond by month, 80% from the line in November, 70% in December, and then under 60% in January. And so it'll be an area to get cleaned up, and a perfect three-point play there.
No, the Warriors are just trying to duplicate what they did in Cleveland and Chicago. By the way, they're coming out early.
Solomon Hill bothered by Bogut. Curry out to the races, throwing to Klay. He dropped it back to Draymond.
What a kick-out pass from Harrison Barnes, though, to lead the break.
A little miscommunication.
Substitution for Indiana. Checking the game. First time, tag number 1,
That pass, I thought they had a layup, threw it back. Klay Thompson did to Draymond. Probably wasn't expecting it.
So Joe Young and that great lineage of Oregon guards.
Pac-12 Player of the Year, led the conference in scoring. He led Indiana in scoring in the Summer League. Averaged 22.5 in 4 games.
I say that sitting next to a great Oregon guard. And Paul George.
Nice young man, by the way. Had conversed with him in Indiana a little bit tonight. A little undersized is Joe Young. They say 6'2". I don't think he's quite that, but he can score.
Jordan Hill had the steal on the overplay, but Paul George had the foul as the Warriors were posting up Draymond. So Steve Kerr's first game back. Unless you're around the team, you don't realize how much he has been involved. But it's just great to see him feel better. Steph Curry. And Bogut sets those screens into the dark side of the moon.
That's about as much time as you'll see Stephen Curry take on a shot. So he was relaxed, focused. It was just like practice time for him.
Solomon Hill for 3. And Curry the easy rebound.
They're running again.
And Draymond's the one running.
They've got confidence in Andrew Bogut to sweep the boards on a miss. And that's why you see your power forward taking off.
12 fast break points out of the first 22. What you have to understand is the 3 best teams in defensive rating, points per 100 possessions, San Antonio, the Warriors, and Indiana. They don't get got like this. And yet the Warriors are trying to run them out of Oracle right now.
All right, let's watch the rebound here. You don't see Draymond Green because he's at the other end taking off. Saw good defensive position in there. He saw that only a couple of gold jerseys. And yes, Monte Ellis went out with 2 fouls, but they're getting very poor transition defense.
So tell me, Draymond is a rebounder. When's his key to release versus knowing Steph or somebody's going to get the rebound?
Well, Steph's a good rebounder, and Draymond Green, we've talked about his basketball IQ. He's looking around and seeing the numbers in there. There's a little bit of a risk, okay, but he felt pretty sure that somebody in white was going to come up with that rebound. And he doesn't waste any time. He has lost weight. We talked about that, and you can see it evident with his speed on the court.
Now, technical foul on the Indiana bench, and I don't think it was Vogel.
I don't either.
It was one of the players or one of the assistants. We'll see who they assess it to. And it's going to be Solomon Hill. And a lot of quizzical looks on that Pacer bench. But JT Orr had heard a little bit of enough. So Steph Curry was 7.
Indiana hasn't played since Tuesday. They've had a lot of time off here. But it looks like the Warriors are more rested.
Yeah, Warriors stayed over in Chicago and then flew home yesterday. Did not practice. But I think they're energized at shoot-around when Steve Kerr announced he was going to coach tonight. Knocked away. Draymond with the D. Took it from the All-Star Paul George. Iguodala off the bench and into the bucket.
You can't see better play than the Warriors are exhibiting right now. To get out into the open court, selfless play, making the extra pass. You got to keep on it. Indiana right now playing just defense.
C.J. Miles stumbled into that shot and had it blocked.
Well, they're not playing defense, but they're on the defensive end of everything.
Clay through the D and couldn't quite bank it home. So
he's learning how to get that extra step in.
Joe Young, Jordan Hill, Paul George, Glenn Robinson III, and C.J. Miles. And Hill missing right now, and Joe Young quick hands. Indiana needs to stabilize here. And Young, that'll do it. Hit a 3. He'd only been 2 of 8 from distance all season. He doesn't play all that much.
Not a lot of playing time. Only 109 minutes coming into the night. But they're going to need him earlier without Stuckey and the way the game has gone.
Bogut missing the lefty push shot. So Zealy and Barbosa will check in. Remember, Andrew had the back spasms and the sprained back in Chicago, so I don't know that they're going to run him any more than they have to tonight, particularly with 2 days off before the Spurs on Monday.
Right, and with the Zealy in there now, he's got to remember, yeah, this team is running, but you can't be careless with the ball. And another assist, Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, Johnny on the spot.
Draymond's got 11. Steph has 7, 5, and 4 already. 7 points, 5 boards, 4 assists.
Warriors have 8 assists.
C.J. Miles, good look to Jordan Hill there.
Pushing the tempo.
Steph stopped on a dime, missed the jumper. Zealy kept it alive, but committed a foul in the process.
First foul charge to Festus. Zealy, first personal, first team foul.
The Eastern Conference may not want any part of the Warriors after these last 3 games. Cleveland, Chicago, and Indy so far.
Got a long way to go here in this one. Frank Vogel team they're not going to quit. And this man can light it up when he gets it going.
That's a beautiful bank shot. Paul George, you see that size and skill. Great to see him healthy after that horrific broken leg at the U.S. Olympic training camp.
Nearly 2 years ago. He's a consistent scorer.
Zealy was fouled. George nearly had the steal. But it'll be Jordan Hill who committed the foul.
Paul George career high is 48. No surprise there. Surprise to me, Jordan Hill's been around 7 years. And I would think his career high, the way he can shoot, would be somewhere in the 30s at least. It's 28.
Okay. That's just knocking down the free throw. Remember, tonight's game and all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live via the NBC Sports Live Extra app on your mobile phone or tablet. Stream the Warriors on the go.
And they've been on the go tonight. They've got 28 points. We haven't seen much half-court offense. It's been all early offense, fast break and early offense.
Free throw split. Miles Turner, rookie out of Texas, the 11th pick in this year's draft. Shot clock at 5. Joe Young used that screen, couldn't make the jumper, and Iguodala with the rebound. Draymond lost the handle. It's only Barbosa to beat. And Joe Young, nifty. Warriors had built a 17-point lead. And the Pacers kept calling timeouts, trying to catch their breath. And like Jim said, Indy will not give up, but the Warriors continue to press the issue. Draymond's got 13. Paul George has a Zealy on the switch. Best to stay down, challenge the shot.
Did a heck of a job.
It's a way to play D.
Short. Way short.
Steph was deciding, am I going to pass, I'm going to shoot, or I'll put it up. Minute 57, the mandatory. Draymond Green running the floor. And then in the half-court set, also a factor, 13 of the Warriors' 30.
I'm an NBC Sports Live Extra.
Back at Oracle, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Roz Gold on Wood-A with the Warriors up 13. Talked about the makeover of Indiana with our Geico Advanced Analytics. Scoring, huge uptick. Have shot it much better. They're an up-and-down team with fast break points. The best in the league in points off turnovers. And I said, defensively, they're third in rating and also opponent points per possession.
Well, they changed everything once Roy Hibbert was out of the picture. They don't have a big 7-2 center to work around and slow it down.
And David West also left as a free agent. The return of Paul George, the signing of Monte Ellis, and a different style and a different approach. Joe Young had hit 1-3. Miles Turner is fouled on the rebound. So Miles Turner, the rookie out of Texas. Joe Young, the rookie out of Oregon. With C.J. Miles, Paul George.
First team foul inside the last 2 minutes.
And so Indiana has cooled off a little bit after playing very well beginning of the season. Paul George well defended there. Iguodala right on top of him. To Azili, and Miles Turner saw it.
Turner played 1 year at Texas. He can block shots, and he knows how to score. He's going to be a good player.
LaVoy Allen is fouled. He couldn't get it over the iron.
Yeah, they tried that lob at the other end over Turner, and he smelled it out. He's only 19. He will not be 20 until March.
So Festus has picked up 3 fouls in 3 minutes. And so that's going to get Mo Spates into the ball game.
I tried to hint at that a little bit as he came in because the pace of the game was so fast, so very fast, and he had to come in, did Festus Ezeli, and had to acclimate himself very quickly to that.
Steph Curry going to Toronto to represent the Warriors in Dub Nation. All the Curry player jerseys, t-shirts, men, women, and youth at Warriors.com. The All-Star version. And go support Steph as well as get your All-Star apparel. Now, LaVoy Allen reminds me of Mo Spates. You know, to me, when they're in Philly, they're similar players because Allen can hit a mid-range jump shot.
Rugged player, defensively. Not quite the shooter Spates is.
Iguodala missing that 3. And Turner just couldn't collect that rebound.
He's a good prospect for him. Missed a lot of the season earlier because he fractured his thumb. Just about 6 weeks.
Bosa, beautifully done. Mo right off the inbounds knew Leandro would be cutting.
Well, he just knows how to turn the corner better than anybody out there. He and Monte Ellis have that down.
Turner on the turnaround. Curry is a rebounding demon. 7 boards in the first quarter. Steph was flirting with a triple-double in Chicago. He's on his way again tonight. Harrison Barnes recognized. I got a point guard on me. I'll shoot over him. Just couldn't quite knock it down.
He's the one guy they go and say, ISO, take advantage, and he does it nicely. He and Sean Livingston, when they got a smaller one on him.
Nearly 3 seconds game shot clock difference. Indiana wants to play for 1. Spates got a hand on it. Shot clock at 1, but knocked out of bounds.
That's the new Barbosa this year.
Went to Rod Adams a year ago, said, how do I become a better defender?
Yep.
Teach me, work with me.
Just great hustle there.
Chase Budinger is in a brutal shooting slump. I think it's 2 for his last 23 on 3s.
And he's healthy.
Turner to end it? No. And that will do it for a pretty special first quarter. That shot is after the buzzer. Steph Curry, the range is limitless.
The fans still love it. They know it doesn't count. They don't care. That's Stephen Curry.
Unbelievable. Steve Kerr returns. The Warrior lead at 14. They shoot it at 57% and lock up the Pacers, holding them to 18 points.
I'm Draymond Green, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Well, Steph Curry entertains even after quarters are over. Just throwing a 55-footer. Oh, well. That's what I do.
Well, he didn't like shooting an air ball a few minutes before that.
Have a little fun with Ian Clark. Steph is frisky tonight. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. And the Warriors, another brilliant quarter. And a good beginning. Good beginning in Cleveland, good beginning in Chicago.
Are they energized? All you have to do is look at fast break points, 14 of them. 14 fast break points. They're going to call another foul on Monte Ellis.
Well, Monte had played only 5 minutes in the first quarter with 2 fouls. That's already his third. So he and Ezeli, 3 apiece.
He may be saying that Barbosa just lost the ball on the way to the basket there. Well, that's just taking him out of the game. Only taking 1 shot in those first 6 minutes.
So we talk about getting off to a good start and why that's so important for the Warriors. In the last 4 first quarters, nearly 33 a game, shooting 58% with a 36-9 assist to turnover ratio. That'll work.
As good as they were in that quarter, they didn't quite match it. 32 points at 56.5%.
Well, Luke's going to have to talk to Steve Kerr, Jim. This is his first night. What's he doing? His team has taken a step backwards.
One thing the Warriors are doing, they're covering the backdoor plays, which is employed now by Indiana a lot more with this lineup. They're covering backdoors, back cuts, and everything to the basket, not giving up easy ones.
So Joe Young with Chase Budinger, Miles Turner, C.J. Miles, Lavoy Allen. Rookie Turner, look what I found. Wide open.
You've got to see the ball there from the weak side, and someone fell asleep.
Barbosa, Iguodala, Sean Livingston with Harrison Barnes and Mo Spates.
Sometimes the Warriors are doing some automatic switching, and that can be miscommunicated.
Mo had decided he was going to shoot that. He was still well covered.
Joe Young enjoying his early playing time.
And Young's hit a couple jumpers. You highlighted it. They only have 10 healthy players. They don't have George Hill. They don't have Rodney Stuckey. So Joe Young's going to play.
Yes, he is, and he knows it. That's pretty cool.
Harrison couldn't quite reverse it. Young trying to find the other side. And you leave your feet in the NBA, it's going to be a steal. Indiana foul to prevent the breakaway.
Well, everybody knows when someone leaves their feet coming along the baseline, primarily they're looking for the corner, and they're cutting off that corner 3, shortest part of the court. So he goes up in the air, and that corner is covered. It was covered by Iguodala, number 9 there.
Yeah, Iguodala and Livingston were like, all right, youngster, thanks for throwing it our way. This is going to be a replay to see if it is a clear path situation. Replay review brought to you by Ring Central. Ring Central, business communications made simple. And this, when you think of a clear path, where did the play initiate? Okay. And then was someone ahead of the last defender? This did not initiate high enough above tip circle extended. It initiated at the free throw line. Rodney Mott used the replay perfectly, and not a clear path foul.
3 players are on the floor that played very well off the bench. This is one of them.
Spates can't rebound the Livingston miss.
Livingston played great along with Barbosa and Iguodala. They were just terrific in Chicago.
What kind of game does Miles Turner have? And that time, a little turnaround from 17 feet.
Well, he's okay. He's got a nice mid-range jump shot. 19 years old.
Indiana's doing something that we have not seen teams adjust, as they have a big man on Sean Livingston. And Lavoy Allen guarding Livingston, so he couldn't post him up. And Spates just tackles Budinger.
Little slippage here. 2 free throws coming, could be an 8-point game. That's an offensive player's dream. Oh, I've got my man up in the air. I can do anything I want. I've still got the dribble left and a step. So that's when you go for the foul. pretty wide body to try to go around.
This.
What are they doing here?
This cannot be a flagrant foul. We'll have another Ring Central replay review.
Well, if he hadn't brought the arms down,
that's what they're going to look at.
Yeah.
You know, flagrant one, unnecessary contact. So Mo, principle of verticality, it's clearly a foul. They have the collision, and the two arms coming down on top of him is that unnecessary contact.
Was he just trying to regain his balance? Oh, that's pretty hard.
Yeah, that's going to be a flagrant foul.
That's pretty hard.
If they called it, you could see it. If they elect not to, you could see why. But unnecessary contact, flagrant one. Unnecessary excessive, flagrant two. It's clearly not a flagrant two.
Which brings to mind, since we didn't do the game, how about the one in Cleveland, J.R. Smith running into Harrison Barnes?
Yes.
They called it a flagrant two. How did you see it?
I would have been fine with a flagrant one.
That's what I thought.
Except that J.R. Smith has priors.
I understand.
You know, and so
from that one play, though, I'm with you on that. I thought it was a flagrant one. I thought it was a little dangerous, but, you know, I've often run into somebody like that out of frustration and knock them.
Well, I think that, you know, unnecessary, excessive, and also unsportsmanlike. I think that's what got J.R. Smith out of there.
Well, then, unsportsmanlike, they could employ that all the time. And
well, that's the official's discretion, and I thought that would be a flagrant one, and it is.
Yep.
So,
yeah, we hadn't talked about that. Yeah. I was curious about it.
I mean, J.R. Smith has had a habit of doing this.
Oh, I know.
You know, from the playoffs on. Budinger splitting the free throws. And you get possession of the ball with a flagrant foul call.
What amazed me about J.R. Smith, he scored 14 points in 21 minutes, and he was minus 29 in the game in plus minus. I thought that was an amazing stat.
Well, that's, you know, as fans become more educated, there's a ton of great NBA fans who are getting into everything. You know, just points scored.
Just exactly.
You know, hey, you had a nice scoring night, except when you're on the floor, your team was outscored by 29, which means you're guarding nobody. C.J. Miles is fouled. Iguodala called for that. So the game has come to a bit of a standstill. We've had a couple replays and a couple whistles. And so now C.J. Miles.
Well, let's watch the reaching here. Okay, comes down. He got all ball. He got all ball. But the problem is, official sees a slap down. He sees a near air ball there. And he said, oh, you must have gotten him on the wrist.
Yeah, that'll be one. Rodney will get a look at that at halftime, come out and tell Andre he missed it, but that happens. Officials miss calls like players miss shots.
The thing is with Andre.
But the chopping down, you're right, Jim.
Yeah, but you'd think by now he's educated the officials. He does that extremely well. You got to talk to him and tell him that.
No space. Continues to fire, but he's missed his first couple. And this 17-point lead is down to 8, and the reserves for Indiana, they've clearly had the edge. Budinger fighting Livingston for that rebound. Sean will push. Iguodala in between Livingston and Spade. So pretty ugly 3 minutes compared to the beautiful first 12. And so the Warrior lead at 8. They got to restart the energy in the building.
Welcome back. Warriors up 8 on the Pacers. It's a Friday home game at Oracle Arena, which means it's Authentic Fan Friday. And Comcast Sportsnet is giving away 50 pairs of free tickets to fans and cool giveaways. This is one of the coolest ones I've seen. Authentic Fan jerseys. Now, I'm here with 2 Authentic fans. What's your name?
Monroe.
And yours?
Jason.
You guys are from Australia. How did you guys get here?
Well, we've been traveling around the States, and we wanted to watch the Warriors for our first NBA game, so we went from the East Coast to the West.
That's a really cool trip. So I don't know if you guys know, but Stephen Curry, he was just named an all-star starter. What other Warriors should be an all-star?
Well, I reckon Klay Thompson. You got to keep the Splash Brothers together, you know that. And Draymond Green. Well, he's been posting really good numbers throughout the season, triple doubles and all that. Yeah.
Awesome. Good choices, and it's fun to have some Australians with us on the show, joining Bogut, of course.
Yes, of course.
All right, Bob.
Well, I tell you, Roz, even in Australia, they know that the Warriors should be getting 3 All-Stars. And that's going to be very interesting on Thursday when the coaches vote. Draymond is going for sure. Klay Thompson should go as well. But you start getting into a numbers crunch, Jim, in terms of 7 reserves. Are you going to pick 2 more Warriors? So that was a defensive 3-second violation, so a technical free throw. In the first 6.5 minutes of this game, the Warriors scored 25 points. In the last 8.5 minutes of this game, they've scored 9. And we talked about Indiana being top 8 in scoring. The Warriors are going to have to restart the offense. And for the Pacers, Oracle has been totally taken out of the mix here. We've had so many stoppages and a couple replays.
Well, you've got 2 players, veterans, in Buttinger and Miles, who've been in slumps. They could come alive anytime, right? We know that. They're pros.
That was going to be a lob, I think. Then he shot it.
Then you got LaVoy Allen in his first start of the season. You got Joe Young, the rookie who can really shoot, is going to get the most minutes tonight than he's had all season long in any game. So they've got nothing to lose.
John Livingston, that mid-range post-up. Bogut's been reinserted. Spades had shot it a couple times. I think Steve Kerr wants the ball moved a bit more with the second unit.
Harrison Barnes on 6'11". Turner. We'll see how that works out.
Shot clock at 5. C.J. Miles posting up. Turner, there's the matchup they go to. Now Harrison committing the foul. You do not want to foul someone on a turnaround 14-footer.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
And I'll quote you, Jim, and you say it nicely, is don't put the official in the position to make a call. That's a very tough shot. If he makes it, shake his hand. Turner dropping in the free throw. Sunday, following the Warrior game against the Knicks on January 31st, the Coaching Core Game Changer Awards presented by Levi's. That'll be right here on CSN Bay Area. Steph Curry will be there. Hunter Pence. Turner splitting a pair. So Draymond back in. Klay and Bogut. Klay Thompson. Bogut tipping. Bogut rebounding again. Boy, Allen, good look inside. And you're right, Jim. This Miles Turner can play a little bit.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Livingston and Turner clean that up. 11th pick of the draft, one and done at Texas. Fractured the thumb.
2 men go at the shooter. Bogut has a clear lane to the rim, and there's a block shot on the run, and had no chance.
Harrison had it knocked away. Well, a lot of teams, the Warriors will get an out-of-bounds dunk there. Frank Vogel's always been a good defensive coach. Indiana was ready. Harrison post up. We've seen him on the point guard before. Put it in the bucket and draw the foul. They will force that mismatch. There's your ISO post-up player along with Livingston. Harrison says no double. I got a point guard. You can't guard me.
He didn't go to the middle. He turned left shoulder to go away from any potential shot blocker. Smart.
And Harrison Barnes, 48% from the field, 85% at the line. It's become so key in his improvement. Joe Young rimming that in. Young with the overplay. They got it back. And his three offline. So that frenetic energy from the beginning of the game is totally dissipated. Credit Indiana on the road for hanging in there. And this rookie out of Oregon has been a lot of fun to watch. Steve Kerr's going to use a timeout. 6:28 remaining in the first half. You play all these playoff teams. You're not going to blow all of them out. And for the Pacers, youngsters getting opportunity, and they're back in the game. Leandro Barbosa's always bouncing around, enjoying the timeout music. He's also part of our Shamrock Office Solutions Play of the Week. Full speed underhand lob. And Iguodala soaring in to finish it. Our Shamrock Office Solutions Play of the Week. That was special.
Well, someone asked Leandro Barbosa after the game, wasn't that a little risky? He said, well, we've got a lot of trust on this team. He said, and we've got a lot of freedom to try things. And that was very impressive and a lot of fun.
Steph Curry back in. Livingston playing with the other four starters. Klay Thompson. You know, Bogut gets no credit because they don't keep track of screens. You watch Andrew Bogut, he obliterates the defender. Steph and Klay shoot wide open threes because the big man from Australia knocks the defender out of the way.
Well, they've really gotten used to playing with him.
They have. That's a great point, Jim.
They've gotten more patient for the screen.
And Miles Turner, he and Joe Young have been special here. Young's got 11, and Turner's got 9.
Their last loss was against Denver. Miles Turner scored 25 points. And you can see how he's an eraser inside. He scored 25 points in that game. He's had 4 blocks in a game.
Bogut making sure 2 Pacers don't get to Klay Thompson.
Use the hands a little bit.
Klay dropping in the free throw. When you say trust or patience, tell me how Steph and Klay, the more they play with Bogut, what does that involve for the shooter?
Well, for one thing, they used to get offensive fouls on Andrew Bogut because when they had the ball and it was a dribble into the screen, they didn't wait for him to get it set. They were too anxious, and that's just experience. And also now, I love it when they give him the ball. They play off of him very well. They keep going. They don't stop now, put on the brakes, and have the ball go out of bounds. They know that he can deliver bounce passes and lead you to the rim.
Told you Lavoy Allen could hit jumpers, and he dropped one in. Foul. And Joe Young nearly had another steal. I think for Frank Vogel, Monte Ellis got in foul trouble. You're able to sit Paul George for an extended period of time, and your youngsters don't know any better, and they're scrapping right back in against the world champs.
Joe Young, his career high in this early part of his career is 15. He's got 11 already on 5 of 7 shooting, 13 minutes.
So Steph dropping in both free throws, 9, 7, and 6. Curry had 7 rebounds in the first quarter. That's a career best in a quarter for him. Joe Young missing there. Guess who's on the glass? It's the Turner kid.
You see how they switched? Curry took the big man, and Draymond took the shooter coming in. Made the miss, but they didn't block out.
Got some size there with Miles Turner, Lavoy Allen, and Paul George is one of the few, quote, off guards that's taller than Klay.
Yes.
He's tracking Klay Thompson. That's all-star guard and all-star.
Well,
Curry.
Joe Young got lost.
Hit behind Bogut, didn't make that 3. Fresh 24 with the offensive rebound.
Throw it into Bogut.
Andrews doubled, finding a wide open Klay Thompson. Here's you're seeing the skills of Bogut and the beautiful guard play of Clay and Steph. Indiana's doing a lot of things right, but the Warriors have a lot of weapons.
I love the way Bogut, they thought he was going to throw it to Green. He went cross court to Klay Thompson. And now they've got the lead back up to 12.
Welcome to a place.
I'm Klay Thompson, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champ.
We potentially have a fantastic home court advantage, but it's up to us to take advantage of that. We've got to make it work for us and control our home court. But it does make it exciting that we've got this crowd to play in front of 41 times.
That was Steve Kerr 2 media days ago. Remember, the Warriors had 8 losses to teams below 500 the year prior. Last year, none. And the home court, well, 37 wins in a row. And a chance to tie the 85-86 Celtics were they to win tonight. The third longest, potentially, in NBA history.
Impressive company.
But Steve, that was one of the first things he looked at. The Warriors had won 51 games, but they had stumbled so many times to lesser teams in this building.
Yes.
And they haven't lost to an under 500 team since he's been the head coach. That's taking care of business in this building.
He holds this team and the players, individually and collectively, to a higher standard. And he's gotten them to achieve that higher standard and to keep it going. Good denial from Thompson.
Solomon Hill able to get in and finish.
A little stronger.
So this is the small unit right now.
We saw a small unit utilized with Livingston instead of Barnes. Right now it's Barnes.
Solomon Hill came to help Joe Young. Clay able to save it. And look at the defense being played now by the Pacers.
Great read from Glenn Robinson III.
And Miles Turner running it back. I think Indiana is one of those teams that the Warriors go small when they're really good. I think the Pacers can hang a little bit.
With these young guys, they're liking this. Look at the way you can see that spirit. They're looking there. They're getting into it defensively, reading the passing lanes. They're having fun. You could just see it in their body language.
Miles Turner becomes their center.
So the Warriors have their work cut out.
Iguodala out of bounds 3. And Andre at 39% beyond the arc this year.
Solomon Hill fell asleep. Pass was zipped right by him.
Iguodala played Young beautifully. Len the third, G-Rob 3, missing that 3. You see Turner scrapping. Give Paul George another possession. ISO for George on Clay. All-star on all-star. And Paul George to the rim. Steph kind of a car crash there. And still got a Iguodala.
He did that on purpose. He stepped in front of the defender who was pursuing, and it propelled him forward. He still had control of the ball. Didn't give up his dribble. He wasn't looking for a foul.
Young missing. Iguodala with a rebound. Steph runs to the arc. Clay's even more open.
He set him up perfectly. Faked everyone into thinking he was going to take the shot, did Stephen.
Curry, beautiful steal.
He worked for that one.
And I tell you, look at Paul George save a layup with that wingspan. This is fun. This is skill ball with a lot of good athletes right now.
Stephen doesn't make that steal. Miles Turner has a dunk.
It was the second time Joe Young got up in the air and had a ball stolen away.
That was a tough wraparound pass. He was lucky to even get it into the hands of Turner.
On the inbounds, it's Klay Thompson.
When you're a great shooter from the perimeter, you can get cuts to the hoop. And they do that so well on out-of-bounds plays. You get people overplaying it.
14-point lead at the end of one. Indiana feels like they've had the edge in play, but the Warriors have only lost 1 point off that advantage. C.J. Miles, he has been struggling on threes in recent weeks. Curry behind the back. Clay didn't want the three. So some open opportunities, and the Pacers fortunate. Solomon Hill blocked by Draymond, but then a foul.
Let's watch the out-of-bounds play. Klay Thompson's going to go here, and then he's going to cut. Watch how his defender follows. So he's behind him. He recognizes that, goes right down the gut. And the two young players, they don't switch on it, and he gets a layup.
And that's what you call reading the play. Hey, he's trailing around. Harrison Barnes was called for the foul, not Draymond. That is a very clean block. And both free throws down.
I think Frank Vogel's going to be very positive at halftime.
I think Indiana's played a lot of good basketball. And yet the Warriors have shown why they're the world champs. Clay had that knocked away, running through the mix. Budinger will clean up the Robinson miss. A moment ago at 13, and now back to 9. Iguodala 3. It just ticked iron. That was the free one as the Warriors tried to go 2 for 1. Solomon Hill finding Budinger. So it's the Pacers closing on a run here. It was 6 unanswered. And Steph, the 3.
He likes pressure shots. He likes clutch shots. He likes it when they need a basket.
So that's the ultimate 2 for 1. He said, if I shoot in a couple seconds, we'll still get the ball back. With a 5-second game shot clock difference.
Jump switch.
Robinson down the lane. Harrison with Steph at 3. At 2 from midcourt. Yes, sir!
Got it this time.
He made one at the end of one that didn't count. But this one, he had time. It looked good. He banked it home. A little Curry flurry with 2 threes in the final 30 seconds and a 13-point lead at the break. Dave Feldman in the studio for Warrior Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Is there anything the MVP can do in the return of Steve Kerr tonight?
Warriors basketball on
rainy night over the Bay Bridge, but sunny in Oracle as the Warriors are up by 13 as we welcome you into Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Feldman. So the Warriors got a new coach, kind of an old coach, Steve Kerr. He's back, but the Cavs did too. They fired David Blatt. This after he took the Cavs to the finals last season, and despite currently holding the #1 seed in the East. Assistant Tyronn Lue agreed to a 3-year deal to replace him. 49ers have hired Lions running back coach Curtis Modkins to run Kelly's offense. Modkins joined the Lions in 2013. Before that, he spent 3 seasons with the Bills, 1 with the Cardinals, 1 with the Chiefs, and more than a decade at the college level. Meanwhile, 49ers have fired defensive coordinator Eric Mangini. This according to multiple sources. Mangini was promoted internally from the tight ends coach last season. He was given a 3-year contract but lasted only one, directing a unit that finished 29th in total defense. We're taking a break. Steph Curry from way downtown. That is Bed Bath & Beyond. The Dubs are up 13. We're back with more Jack in the Box Halftime Live. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Jack in the Box Halftime Live. I'm Dave Feldman. Everyone's looking forward to the Spurs coming here Monday to play at Oracle. Right now, the Spurs are playing the Lakers in L.A. They're up 10. Both teams are off over the weekend and play again Monday at Oracle. Golden State with a 2-game lead over the Spurs. OKC beat Dallas today. They had a big lead. Dallas came back, but OKC held on to win. The Sacramento Kings currently in eighth place. They have a half-game lead over Utah, who won tonight. So Sacramento holding on. The Warriors up by 13 in Steve Kerr's return. We will go back to Fitz and JB in the second half. After this, the Dubs up by 13.
Communications made simple. Our Jack in the Box at the half with the Warriors up 13. And when you look at the Warriors, 25 points in the first 6.5 minutes of the game, the return of Steve Kerr, the energy. But then you got to credit Indiana and their young players, Joe Young and Miles Turner, for getting back in the game. Problem is, they don't have Steph Curry in the last 30 seconds of a half.
It's amazing. It was a 7-point game with 30 seconds to go. And now all of a sudden 2 threes by Steph Curry makes it a 13-point game. But they had a 17-point lead. And that second unit with those 2 rookies in there, Young and Turner, they scored 33 points in the second quarter. So I know Steve Kerr's talking about defense at halftime.
And at Indiana, the Pacers never gave up, as you said they wouldn't. They came all the way back in. The Warriors have to know that tonight.
Well, it looked like in the first quarter the Warriors put them away. They came back. It looks like they put them away again. They came back. And now it looks like they put them away here. But we'll wait and see on that.
Well, what I'd like to see is Steph Curry's 200th three of the season. Is it? Just going to bank that in from about 55.
Well, here's the thing. He's got 15, 4 of 7 from threes. Thompson has 15, 3 of 6 from threes. So 3-pointers have made a difference. The Warriors have made 8 of 17 threes. Well, as we take a look at Steph Curry's bucket chart here tonight.
We have a very first for the bucket chart, Jim. We had to put a dot and point that it was on the other side of half court.
Yep. He extends everything. As I say, they're going to change the rules for Steph Curry.
Well, he has 6 made buckets further than 30 feet away this year. No other NBA player has more than 2. So the Warriors shot it well. The bench for Indiana was spectacular. The fast break points came early in the game.
Yes.
And the lead at 13 right now.
Yeah, 14 of those fast break points in the first quarter. Here's what I'm thinking the Warriors have to do. They just have to get after it defensively. That's the one area they need to work on.
13-point lead. Looking for win number 38 in a row at home. Warrior lead at 13. Moments ago, our Roz Gold Onwoode caught up with Warrior assistant Jaron Collins.
Coach Collins, I know you want it to be business as usual, but Steve Kerr is back. Is it a little bit more special, a little different tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, see, get the boss man back. It's fantastic to have him back on the sideline. His personality, his energy, his voice is fantastic, and really happy for him that he's been able to make it back.
Stephen Curry, he hits that exciting half-court shot. It's not only impressive, it's important. You know, the Pacers could have brought the game within single digits. Instead, it's a momentum swing. What is Steph's awareness of these kinds of moments?
Well, it's remarkable. He's someone who can truly be in range when he walks on the floor. And obviously, as you hit the nail right on the head, gives us momentum heading into the second half and stretches our lead out. And hopefully we can get some stops and open this thing up a little bit.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Ross.
Well, Monte Ellis hits a bucket on one end. Steph is fouled on this end. But, Jim, when you think about Monte Ellis and Paul George, they averaged over 37 a game.
Yes.
They had 6 in the first half. And so for Indiana, they were right with them until Steph's threes that Roz was talking to Jaron about. And the Warriors have to be very careful because Paul George and Monte are not likely to remain quiet the second half.
Yeah, Monte didn't score. He was burdened by those 3 fouls.
Well, the first player in NBA history to make 200 threes in 4 straight seasons, and 200 of 444. And let me tell you, the single season records going by the wayside again.
With 38 more games after tonight for the Warriors.
Steph has broken it twice. Nobody's ever made 300 threes. He's going to do that. Jordan Hill misfiring. And Solomon Hill knocked it away. Still Warrior ball. Bogut with Draymond, Harrison Barnes, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Glenn Robinson III, Jordan Hill, Solomon Hill, Paul George, and Monte Ellis begin this second half. Draymond kind of a deep 3. Bogut trying to keep it alive, but Paul George sending Solomon Hill on his way. Monte, good decision. Jordan Hill able to finish.
Bogut helped out on Monte, and that allowed Hill to slip to the hoop. And another deflected pass.
Yeah, you see Indiana's getting their hands in the passing lanes nicely. Paul George missing that 3. Bogut, another rebound. Indiana is athletic. They're frisky. Their bench players were terrific.
That's only the 9th attempted 3 they've had tonight. They usually shoot more.
Monte just took it from Harrison Barnes. And he will draw the blocking foul and bank it in. He said Monte Ellis not going to be quiet. He's already got 2 buckets.
Stephen Curry knew him and knows his DNA, because he wasn't going to pass this ball. He tries to look you off, and Curry never took the bite, and that was a blocking foul.
That's a great replay. Steph was not in a legally set position when Monte began the shooting motion. And Steve Kerr's going to take time.
Ahmed Fareed with the Sportsnet Central update. The Cavs, the #1 seed in the East, just fired their coach. David Black gone after he took the Cavs to the finals last season. Assistant Tyronn Lue agreed to a 3-year deal to replace him. Fitz, JB, we'll send it back to you.
All righty. With Steph Curry and the Warriors leading by 9. And the Ford Wright choice, the MVP improvement. It's the most point improvement by any MVP ever. It surpasses Larry Bird. Better from the field, better from 3, better rebounding, and a better plus-minus. And oh, by the way, he started 3 straight All-Star games. Last Warrior to do that was Rick Barry.
As I've said before, it is so hard, so difficult to go from 23 a game to 30 a game. And by the way, how many fourth quarters has he missed this year?
12.
I was going to say about a dozen, and you got it right on the button. Okay? I mean, if he really wanted to average 40 and they wanted to run him in, he could average 40.
Now, in terms of points, Steph could kind of do what he wants. He's running the team as well, and missed 12 fourth quarters.
He's averaging 30 points a night in less than 34 minutes. That tells you everything.
Monte hitting the jumper, and then correct myself, that Chicago game was the 13th. 13th quarter that he missed. I know he had 12 going into.
Well, let's do numbers here. Warriors are up by 7. I'm not sure it's a lucky 7.
Jordan Hill went straight up. Draymond unable to finish over him. So 17-point lead early in that first quarter. Led by 14 at the end of 1. Led by 13 at halftime. But Warriors have yet to score from the field here.
Yeah, the 2 threes by Curry in the last 30 seconds with no response from Indiana has been wiped out.
Paul George missing there. Bogut, strong rebound. The worrisome part of this is Paul George is 3 of 10. If he gets going, Warriors going to have a problem. That rims out. Harrison in traffic. Fighting for that possession.
Did a smart thing, just trying to get it out. No way it's going to go up.
Little show and go. a foul.
Pacers fouls, 7, 27. Jordan Hill, second personal, second team foul.
His man runs at him, so he just goes inside. Jordan Hill thought he went straight up, but he was to the side there. He was not between Harrison and the basket.
Jim, I know you never look ahead. Any idea who the Warriors are playing on Monday?
Oh, I think I do.
The Spurs will be here. All fans get a special edition Warrior t-shirt courtesy of Bay Area BMW. Be here with verified tickets at 888-GSW-HOOP.
You know what Popovich is going to do. Well, I'll tell you in a minute. That's a tough pass.
Harrison split the free throws. Warriors trying to make the Pacers pay. Curry three back iron. They cannot find the range here in the third.
He thought that was down. They're going to call traveling here. You got Paul George tying his shoelace. Jordan Hill was going to give it to him, but changed his mind. This is funny.
Well,
no defensive pressure whatsoever.
This could end up on Shaq and a fool. TNT, got to be careful.
Even like Kent Bazemore twice last night?
Yes. Klay Thompson jumper. Curry another rebound. Can the Warriors take a lid off this basket? Yes, they can.
He reads the defense as well as anybody I've ever seen.
Well, 19 second chance points, and they've needed all of them.
Watch it. No shot. But Steph Curry on that last play, he gets a rebound and he uses Bogut. He sweeps in. I don't know how he stayed in bounds, but he realizes, hey, if I run out here, there's no way Jordan Hill's going to get around. I've already lost my man. He didn't expect me to rebound, and I'm going to have a shot. He just reacted beautifully.
Steph did a good job denying him the ball. G-Rob three. The big dog's son missing there.
He doesn't shoot quite as well as his father did.
Klay Thompson three. And Jordan Hill the rebound.
Monte is looking to shoot. Yeah, you can just feel it coming up in that rhythm.
Rebound battles have been something else, and Klay touching it last.
Like you say, what happens if Paul George does get hot? 3 of 10. A starter, no starter for the Pacers has made a 3 tonight.
And the Warriors are 1 of 9 in the quarter. It was the Curry 3, the only made field goal. Bogut, nice block. All these deflected passes. Pacers are everywhere. All hopping around nicely. Curry 3. And I remember too many stretches with the Warriors 1 of 10 at Oracle. Monte, after a scoreless first half. Monte Ellis 8 here in the third. And an easy game against Indiana. Curry setting up Bogut. He had it denied. Ricochet out. Klay Thompson look. They can't buy one. Curry one more time. Good. Where would they be without the 22 second chance points? Not making anything, but still working hard to get extra opportunities. And then you find the best shooter in the world, and he's got 2 threes in the third, and the lead back to a dozen. Our Lexus pursuit of perfection. Let me introduce you to 11-year-old Noah Cutler from Leesburg, Virginia. The Warriors flew him out here after watching his internet duplication of Steph Curry. He's got the dual dribbling, and they put him on court here in the third, and he was able to mimic one of Curry's moves, and we'll share that with you as we just recorded it in a minute or two. It was just spectacular, and it brought the house down. Noah Cutler. missing inside.
Yeah, Bogut made him change that. I thought he had an angle when he first received it from Monte Ellis. Went away from the hoop.
Iguodala checking in as he does at the midpoint of the first and third. Shot clock at 3. Steph another 3, and that's off. So only the Curry triples in the third quarter for the Warriors from the field.
Well, the triples have saved them because Monte gets a three-point play possibility.
So during the timeout, we promised you Noah Cutler. They brought him out of the court. He mimicked an entire Curry routine, went behind the back and laid it in.
He knows how to use the English too. Well, they've made 1 3. Indiana has. They got a three-point play there. And the defense has gotten tough. If it weren't for the Warriors' threes, Indiana would have the lead.
Monte Ellis has 11 in the third. The Warriors only have 9 as a team.
Well, they made a mistake there, leaving a man in the corner.
Well, Klay Thompson, who had struggled 5 of 14. Steph Curry's a rebound away from a triple-double. That was his 10th assist. Monte.
Oh, he is feeling it in a big way.
He's at home at Oracle. We know that. Foul trouble and scoreless in the first half. 13 in the third for the Mississippi Missile. Steph down the lane and to the line.
I can't imagine the ball goes to Bogut and you're leaving Curry on the weak side enough space to catch and shoot. So you run at him and then he goes right by you and gets himself to the line where he shoots at over 90%.
Steph has had to do a lot tonight as the Warriors offensively are just a little out of kilter after that first quarter. Chinese New Year. The Warriors introducing a great assortment of apparel for men and women. Player jerseys, variety of shirts, new fleece outerwear, all at Warriors.com. Love those Chinese jerseys in celebration of Chinese New Year.
We got to remind our viewers, too, they're missing their starting guards in George Hill and Rodney Stuckey, and they combine for nearly 23 points a game.
Yep.
And they are absent tonight.
Paul George waiting to come alive to aid Monte Ellis in this Pacer comeback. And George a 3 right on cue. We got a ball game.
Yep.
Zealy had that early foul trouble in the first half, working against Miles Turner. The baby hook, but missing it short.
He does not possess the offensive skills that Miles Turner has. He's working on it. He's still a baby with his experience.
Monte gets his hot. You're in trouble. Steph is fouled as he went for that rebound.
Non-shooting. Should be the 4th one on him.
It is. Steph Curry, 25 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds, 6 made threes. And the Warriors have needed all of it. Draymond inside.
He just bowling away there. Just used his body. Defender just fell away.
13-point lead at the half. It's at 11 right now, despite the Warriors' poor shooting in the third.
Monte's not going to give him up here.
Monte missing a 3 as Zealy came for that rebound from a long way. Iguodala tried to get back to Festus. Monte fouled.
Monte's having a very bad year from three-point range at 27%. He's only taken 2 tonight. One you saw a moment ago.
Klay Thompson, 18 points, 6 of 15 shooting.
Glenn Robinson III will take it out. I remember when his dad was drafted by Milwaukee. Herb Cole, Senator Cole, owned the team, and they wanted, the agent asked for a $100 million contract, and nobody ever had that. He said, I'll tell you what, you give me $100 million and I'll give you the team. That's the fact. Herb Cole told me that personally.
They're giving the Pacers the ball. Steph felt that Indiana had gone over the back there. He was shocked. Steve Kerr thinking much the same. Did Turner take it out of bounds? Robinson missing there. Draymond Green the rebound.
Well, they switched on the play, and
Barbosa running nicely.
Good defense springboards their offense.
And Iguodala is such a great middleman on the break.
I like what Ezeli did, though. On a smaller man, didn't foul him, stayed with him, made him change the shot, and miss it.
Boy, Allen missing the jumper. Draymond's rebounding everything now. Iguodala's behind the play. High-risk lob that Festus did well just to catch.
He got the nod from Curry, but he was never really open.
An offensive foul. Barbosa with the offensive foul.
Pass ahead. Create the angle. Just the move to the middle from Andre Iguodala. Moving to the middle there and drawing the one defender on the left allows Barbosa to go underneath.
Draymond had been grabbing rebounds and dribbling the length a lot himself.
Yes.
That was a good judgment of, hey, Andre's ahead of me. Let me get it to him and have that break continue nicely.
And he was under control the entire time. He didn't really rush it. It was more about spacing.
I'll take a little flat there. That'll be Warrior ball. They make it to the shot clocks at 24. Change of possession. Indiana's shooting 42%. The Warriors 44%. But this third quarter started 1 of 9.
See what they're doing defensively. They're not double teaming stuff like other teams. That's what's making it more difficult tonight. Warriors are not,
and that'll be free throws.
They're not getting that man advantage on the pick and roll with a double team and 2 men staying with Curry high.
Well, I think Frank Vogel probably looked at the Cleveland-Chicago footage and said, okay, the Warriors are destroying teams.
Right.
And they continue to go with this double. Now, Steph may have a big scoring night, and he is, but am I going to get 6 other Warriors involved in double figures by playing that gambling defense?
I think they're playing it very smartly tonight.
And I think that's what's going to be so intriguing Monday night against San Antonio. Does Kawhi Leonard switch on to Steph when it matters? Does Tony Parker try to guard him? Does Draymond Green and Kawhi Leonard get matched up?
They take out George, who 4 of 13, but they bring in C.J. Miles, 16 minutes, only 1 free throw tonight. He's 0 for 4. And Miles is their 3rd leading scorer.
Zealy played the D, took it away. Push ahead Barbosa, the Brazilian blur, missed the layup. And that doesn't happen very often.
He missed it badly. I can't believe it. Did the ball slip out of his hand? Zealy just reached in there. Good hands for Festus. And the pass over the top. Easy layup. Just banged it off the board. Uncharacteristic.
Bogut with the back spasms in Chicago and stretched out again. Curry behind the back.
Festus didn't expect it.
And Miles Turner, field goal and the foul. So the turnover with a 3-point play opportunity, and the Pacers will not go away.
That last turnover, that happened a lot when Wilt was young. And he was playing with Guy Rodgers, and Guy Rodgers was one of the great point guards of all time. Quick with the ball and a terrific passer right off the dribble and would hit Wilt in the chest before he got his hands up. He later learned to keep his hands up. And Festus has got to learn that with Steph Curry.
Indiana's only 7 of 14 free throws. Harrison Barnes not only stripped, but knocked off his leg.
Warriors doing just enough, though, to keep a fairly comfortable lead.
Warriors had 18 turnovers in the last 2 games combined. Have 13 turnovers tonight.
And remember, we showed you that graphic. Indiana scores off turnovers more than any team in the league.
Will Young saved the turnover. Shot clock at 5. Over Ezeli. Barbosa and Steph didn't communicate. And Monte burns them. The 2 Warriors fighting for that rebound.
The man on the outside has to give ground. The man behind your teammate who's inside you has to give ground. I'm not sure Stephen saw Barbosa.
Leandro Steele. Quick on quick. He beats Monte and lays it in.
He wasn't going to miss 2 in a row.
At one point, the Warriors 5 of 18 in the quarter, and yet up 13 at the half, up 13 right now.
Yeah, just doing enough.
Indiana's going to say we held them 5 of 18 in their own building.
Well, they held the ball too long there.
Shot clock at 2. Turner sent away, but Miles able to flip it in. This is a spectacular block. Somehow ricocheting around, call it a lob, lay it in to end the quarter. Did that really happen?
You think turnover. You think turnover. Instead, they turn the tables.
The car is careening down the mountain. The ball is bouncing around. It's a missed layup. The clock's winding down. It still goes in. Our Toyota game summary through 3 and the return of Steve Kerr. Somehow, with the Warriors shooting 7 of 23 in the third, they equal Indiana for the quarter and lose nothing off the halftime lead in one of the craziest quarter-ending sequences. And you think of the end of the first, the end of the second, the end of the third. Where would the Warriors be without the Steph 3 and the Iguodala tip at the very end? Indiana, the last 20-30 seconds of the quarters have been a problem. Miles Turner has been impressive. Another jumper. We check in with Roz.
So Steve Kerr came back late from the TV interview, and Luke Walton suggested the play to him, and then Kerr said, you go sit down and run the play. So Luke Walton then goes into the timeout huddle and sits down in the coach's chair, which he had just occupied, and ran the play for the team and gave it to him, and then he laughed. He said, Steve felt bad for me, so he told me I could run one play, and the guys laugh, and he draws with the play, and they go out on the court.
I'll tell you, the sense of humor with all those guys, but particularly those two, is awesome. Livingston was called for a moving screen. The Warriors turned it over to begin the fourth.
14 turnovers.
Miles Turner posted up on Barnes. There's a lot of contact. The 2 youngsters really banging and bumping. Shot clock at 3. C.J. Miles at 2. That 3 did well to hit iron, and there's LeBoy Allen following it in.
The defense got so stretched out because the shot clock was winding down. Desperation shot, but an easy follow.
Second unit struggled in the second. Iguodala missing that 3. Sealy and Livingston, Harrison Barnes with Iguodala and Barbosa.
Okay, this Joe Young is poised.
And that's a field goal and a foul.
This Joe Young is not intimidated by anything. He's going to have a new career high in minutes tonight, and he's on his way to a new career high in points.
Tell you, we've talked about this. In points allowed per 100 possessions, the Spurs are the best. The Warriors are second, but Indiana is third. You don't score against them, and they're holding the Warriors to 43% shooting. That 17-point lead is down to 6. Remember, they led by 13 starting the fourth. Iguodala is fouled, and that's sometimes what a veteran needs to do. We're not hitting anything. I'm going to drive and get to the line. This changed the tenor of the beginning of this quarter.
Shot his free throws better as of late. Picked up his average, 72.
Yeah, 72% for the season, which is great compared to a year ago. And the broadcasting jinx, he misfires there. Cache Creek with 25 days of winning. Incredible prizes for the next 3 days, including a Klay Thompson autographed jersey. Go to Warriors.com/25 days and get involved in that 25 days of winning at Cache Creek. And Iguodala splitting a pair. 60% a year ago. To be at 72% is really good. That's important. A double Turner. And
did he step out?
Well, it's Warrior ball, and it's an offensive foul. I think he did both. He committed the offensive foul and stepped out of bounds.
Well, he was going out, that's for sure.
Bosa jumper.
Likes to turn the corner and go. That time he said, got a lot of space. Almost a free throw for him.
And Leandro double digits. Iguodala double digits off the bench. The Warriors with 5 double-figure scores.
Thinks he can score. A little quickness on the big fella.
So Young had nowhere to go and went and collected his own pass. That's the Travels. So they said the only thing I see is he gets in the air with nowhere to go sometimes. That's happened to him 3 times tonight.
Well, he could have opted for his jump shot. When you got a big man on you, you could always get your jump shot. But instead, he made a judgment to take it inside and got into trouble. Got congested.
Harrison Barnes rising. Budinger the rebound. Young, Allen, Miles Turner, and C.J. Miles. C.J. Miles cannot buy a 3. Talk to the Pacer people as LeBoy Allen gives Turner the point-blank look. The Indiana people said the last month for C.J. Miles, his three-point shooting has just dropped precipitously.
But the Warriors not rebounding with the defensive end. Get the hoop here. Draymond Green's going to come back in for rebounding.
Hey, Barbosa, that injection of offense has been very needed. Hit the jumper, and then driving in to flip it in and draw the foul. 8:55 remaining. The Warriors get win number 38 in a row at home. The Brazilian Blur trying to aid the cause.
The perfect getaway.
Warrior lead at 9, just inside 9 minutes. And our Ram shots of the game. You remember in Arizona, Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr coming back tonight. Incredible reception as he came out of the corner. He didn't want the attention to get the cameras away. But I loved it during introductions. And Warrior fan base welcoming back the leader and the head coach. Our Rams shots of the game.
They know what he did for this franchise and this team last year, leading them to the NBA championship in his first year as coaching.
Put together an incredible staff. And Jaren Collins and Ron Adams.
Hey, and Ron Adams right there to your left is Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's right. He's talking with Jaren Collins. He was actually happy after the Chicago win in Chicago.
Yeah, that's because they held the Bulls 1 of 20 on threes.
He was very happy.
You know what you got to credit?
Former assistant in Chicago. That was part of it.
Jaren Collins and Luke Walton and Ron Adams, along with Nick Uran and Theo Robertson, Chris DeMarco. You know, you not only lost Steve Kerr, you lost Alvin Gentry.
Yeah,
that's a lot. I mean, for 43 games, you didn't have Alvin, you didn't have Steve. And that back unit there, from Bruce Frazier to the right, along with Chris DeMarco, Nick Uran, Theo Robertson, and Kelly Peters. I mean, that staff works relentlessly and works together. And that was set in motion by that man. But you lose Steve and you lose Alvin. And that's a lot.
New Orleans only 15 wins, but they've won 2 in a row. It's been a tough year for
three. Monte floater. Rebound, Draymond Green.
That's what he came back for. Second chance points in this quarter were killing him.
Draymond playing the small 5 here.
They try that back screen from guard to guard.
That's a moving screen.
Maybe Barbosa again.
I tell you, Indiana has handled the Warriors' small lineup as good as any team we've seen. They've got the athletes to do it, and Frank Vogel, he has his team well scouted. The game's hanging there right now. Long way to go. Warriors have had no offensive rhythm in the second half.
Perfectly done with Livingston around that screen. Over the top, underneath. Now you got to watch it.
Shot clock at 5. Joe Young getting it into Miles Turner, and rookie to rookie for the lay-in.
When they switched out front. When you switch out front, Turner did the right thing. He just rolled right to the basket.
Hey, you got George Hill, Rodney Stuckey, and Joe Young. You're doing okay. Livingston, tough turnaround, and he was fouled. You know, that guy, Larry Bird, seems to really know what he's doing in terms of identifying basketball players. Because you got to like this draft. Certainly Paul George is a heck of a player. Rework their style. Well, the Mavericks are coming to town. That'll be on Wednesday. Your chance to get a splash towel. Second one of the set of 5. Every fan in attendance gets it courtesy of State Farm at Warriors.com. Get your splash towel Wednesday when Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs are in town.
Turner is not as big, Bob, as Roy Hibbert, but he's much more mobile.
Yep. His mid-range 15-footer looks good. The free throws down, step back in. Turner foul shooting a jumper. And Draymond will pick up his 3rd personal. The other thing,
I guess they're thinking they can get to his shot, but watch how high he gets on this. I mean, you're not going to get the ball there. You're going to get the wrist and the hand.
Your road team coming to Oracle is exactly what you want to do. Stop the clock. Take the crowd out of it. No rhythm, what the Warriors call flow. No up and down.
Well, one of the reasons the Warriors had success in the 3rd, when it didn't always look that good, they only allowed the Pacers to shoot 3 free throws, only making 1.
Yep.
And they kept them off the line there, and that helped. It's kind of changed course in this quarter.
Warriors have the weekend off, so we may see the starters log a lot of minutes here.
Shot was challenged.
Draymond tipping. Talk about extra effort. Second chance points have been the difference.
Miles Turner went out on the shooter, took him away from the basket. Draymond Green took advantage.
Draymond 17 and 10. Paul George fouled.
Andre still has his hand up, thinking, what more do I have to do? There's Turner out by the free throw line. Leaves an opening for Draymond Green. One of the best people to pursue the ball in this league.
Well, the second chance points, Warriors are +7. They've needed all of it. Problem too, Jim, with the 4th team foul. You may see the Pacers live at the line.
Yep.
With 6:53 left.
The Warriors have a +27 if you just count 3-point shots, 3-point points, if you will. 11 made to 2 made. Been a world of difference if George had all of a sudden tonight been, 6 of 9 from 3 at this juncture.
Yeah, he's only got 10. Monte's got 15. But it's the rookies, Joe Young and Miles Turner, with 14 and 23. And the whistles are blowing here in the 4th. As both teams have 4 team fouls, and we're just inside of 7 minutes.
Let's watch this again and see how they handle that high pick and roll.
Substitution for Indiana. 40 for the Hawks returns.
Paul George with 5 fouls.
This is the high pick and roll that has not caused them problems. And Turner did come out, but because of the foul, Draymond Green was not able to slip to the basket.
Robinson trying to post up, and then a nice cut by Steph Curry. That's a nice option off that ISO post up.
You get Curry's man to turn his head. He moves without the ball.
Harrison's got 4 assists. The big dog's son. And Robinson.
That looked like his dad there.
Yes, it did. Little pogo stick.
And then the little one-hander.
Yep. Well, facially, he looks a lot like his dad. Younger version. Klay Thompson 3. This has been a survival game for the Warriors. They were brilliant at the beginning of the game. In Indiana, you have to credit these youngsters and just their competitiveness. Miles Turner and Monte found him beautifully.
See his mobility, how he moved after that little screen, swiftly to the hoop.
Miles Turner has 25 points in 24 minutes. Curry, teardrop.
He's got 31 in 32 minutes. We can say it together.
That's just normal for him, though. Joe Young misfiring. Livingston will push. Draymond, hesitation. Finish in the foul. It'll be a goaltend. It's not a foul. It'll be goaltending.
Went in anyway. Curry off of one leg. And Draymond Green, he beat him to the punch there. He just put it up real high. He pulled a little Curry on him, getting it off the glass quickly.
So back to the double-digit lead. Monte hits a corner 3. 18 in the second half for Monte Ellis.
Single digits again.
That one deflected. Klay came to meet the ball nicely, dropping it inside. That went from near steal to perfect delivery for the dunk. Now Oracle trying to exhort the defense. The game hinging right now. And there is the D. Draymond out of the pack. Pushing it to Steph. 3 on the way. Good! Of the last 12 to the Dubs. Oracle awakens. Looking for 38 wins in a row at home. Play the D, open court, and find the MVP. Whatever plans you have for Monday night, break them. Let me interest you in a good Western shootout. Finally, the Warriors and Spurs, first of 4. Monday night right here on CSN. Warrior pregame live starts at 6:30. Our McDonald's true story. These are the best point differentials of all time. Spurs and Warriors this year, 3 champions in the Lakers, Milwaukee, and Chicago.
Yeah, that's a graph you'd like to look at, study a little bit.
Well, the 5 best point differentials of all time, and the Warriors and Spurs are 2 of those 5 doing it this year together. Robinson is fouled. San Antonio playing the Lakers tonight. They have the weekend off. So no game Saturday, Sunday. The Warriors, no game Saturday, Sunday. All building to Monday. Well, there's still nearly 4 minutes of work here to protect the home court. So Iguodala back in, Livingston out. Now, Glenn Robinson III went to Michigan. He did not go to Purdue like his dad. So the free throw's down, and the Warriors cannot shed the Pacers.
Good Robinson III, never drafted.
There's some Barnes from the baseline, flat. Monte, full motion.
Barnes has been rebounding terrifically tonight, but
what a play by Draymond. Draymond just took it away. Curry didn't want the three, lost the handle, bats it outside.
They got him there now.
Did you think he'd miss that one? 8 made threes. 37 for the MVP. 22nd timeout by Indiana. Steph Curry is something otherworldly. Monte's coming at 100 miles an hour, and Draymond Green just took it from him.
Perfectly done. And Iguodala sets up Curry. After he loses the ball, Harrison takes it up to the top and says, I'll find the lonely man in the corner.
I tell you, on that replay, look at the body language of Paul George.
He knew. He was conceding it, wasn't he?
If you cover the NBA long enough, there's players that you call oh-no shooters. Yep. When the ball goes to them, the opponent says, oh, no. And Steph Curry is the ultimate oh-no shooter.
Well, I'm going to say this at the end of the game. If the Warriors win, looks like they're going that way. The whole difference in the game is that man right there. The entire difference at halftime, those 2 quick threes in less than 30 seconds gave them a more comfortable lead. Whenever Indiana starts to really threaten, 7 or 8 points away, Curry hits a 3. He is the singular difference in the game tonight.
Robinson missing the corner 3, Clay with a rebound. Now it's about managing the clock.
It's the timing of Curry's shots that he makes in this game particularly.
Draymond can't quite reverse it. Slipped out of his hand. Good effort. Harrison Barnes hanging and denied. Monte tried to stick it inside. Iguodala. Quick hands. Quicker hands, Paul George. George cannot buy one offensively. Steph out of the pack. That is a triple-double. And Curry finishes it off.
May have jammed his thumb there.
He's holding on to that right hand.
Fingers or something.
Yeah, Steph's still holding that right hand.
He jammed a finger.
Solomon Hill.
Yeah, I hope that's all it is.
Yeah, Curry is continuing to hold that right hand.
I just hope he holds it with the fingers and not down on the metacarpal.
Monte and Paul George the steal. And George the easy one.
Steve Kerr is not going to like the turnover situation tonight.
No, keep an eye.
You give up 23 points off your turnovers.
39, 11, and 10. And Steph Curry has been the difference. Well, our big plays the Togo's way. Even when they didn't count, Steph Curry was hot from the first quarter on. 39 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. He's done just about everything at the end of every quarter, every time the game was in doubt, every shot that mattered, every three that kept the Pacers away. And for Steph Curry, playing like the MVP and absolutely needed that way tonight.
He made every clutch shot every time the Warriors were threatened by Indiana. He did it in the first half. He did it in the third quarter. He's done it in this quarter. As I said before, he's the singular difference maker in this game. Glad to see he finally got that 10th rebound. It took him nearly 10 minutes in this quarter to garner that to get the triple-double.
Second triple-double of the season, 7th of Steph's career, and he keeps holding that right hand and right finger a little bit. So that'll be tended to after the game. Paul George knocking it out of bounds again. Indiana goes to play Sacramento tomorrow. They will have George Hill tomorrow. Pacers are going to feel good about a lot of good play. And yet the Warriors have made all the plays.
Well, they finally made a play like they did in Cleveland and Chicago. Pick and roll, fight over the top. Turner shows. Draymond Green slips. As soon as he sees his man Turner exposed and blitz on Curry, he leaves that area. That's one of the really first times I've seen that happen tonight against Indiana.
So Draymond 22 and 11. Miles Turner is fouled.
Draymond Green is so competitive. He's jumping at Miles Turner at the three-point line. That's how he's able to get to the basket. Turner hasn't shot a three all year.
Well, Miles Turner is going to be part of this Indiana rotation because 26 points in 26 minutes on 11 of 16 shooting. Steph Curry is done for the night. And he's getting a standing ovation, and deservedly so. 39, 12, and 10. Draymond and Iguodala also getting the rest and the applause. Welcome back, Steve Kerr, and his best player making sure it was going to be in a win.
And the sloppy this game has been, Stephen only had 2 turnovers tonight.
Looking ahead to the Spurs on Monday night. Cannot wait to bring that one to you. The Warrior pregame live start your way at 6:30. Ian Clark moving nicely without the ball.
Those turnovers by Monte midway through that fourth, that really hurt Indiana at that point.
And they were great plays by Draymond and Iguodala.
Yep. But you still have an advantage when you have the ball in your hand and you're going to try to score and you turn that ball over. Those are critical times and critical turnovers.
Harrison Barnes missing the three.
Didn't find too many baskets for Harrison tonight.
No, 2 of 10. Spates fouling Miles Turner.
Pretty poised is Miles Turner for a 19-year-old, isn't he?
There's not a lot not to like about him. He's been special.
Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, and Kalina Azubuike.
They're here at Oracle for Honda Postgame Live. The problem when Greg and Kalina are trying to talk is that Saint is deluged by autograph seekers when he's here at Oracle. You just almost can't do television. I mean, the Saint Estrader on remote location with fans besieging him for autographs.
Kalina Azubuike was one heck of a player. Came out of that D-League. He averaged 15 points a game. Was a starter, and then that horrible knee accident injury in Milwaukee.
Spates. He's hit 3 threes on the season. Number 2 in Chicago, number 3 tonight. And I'll ask you, Jim.
Yes.
When Larry Bird and the Celtics were winning 38 in a row at home, did you ever think the Golden State Warriors would move alongside them for the 3rd longest winning streak at home in NBA history?
Pretty good history to follow, I'll tell you that.
This will equal the 3rd longest home winning streak in NBA history at 38 in a row. Warriors season ticket holder, you saw them go 39-2 a year ago and 20-0 at home this year.
As you noted before, 85-86 season, and that's the Celtics championship year, along with 81 and 84 and then 86.
So 6 seconds left, no need to shoot. And San Antonio, Monday night at Oracle. The Warriors into that game 40-4. And Steve Kerr's return, a triumphant one, and a very entertaining game. The Pacers season series is done. Indiana pursues the playoffs in the East. The Warriors win it 122-110. Monte with 18 second half points to make it a ball game. 38 in a row at home. The MVP, a triple-double. The Spurs waiting Monday night. The clash of the previous two champs. Warrior post-game live presented by Honda is coming up right now. The Warriors win it 122-110. Having fun on a Friday night.
It is a wire-to-wire Warrior victory. Jumped them 25-8 for 6 minutes of the game. They were mildly threatened throughout. Whenever they were, Steph Curry with a big shot, a big rebound, a big pass. His 7th career triple-double, 2nd this year. 39 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. And Draymond Green wasn't too bad either. 22 points and 11 rebounds. Let's head back inside Oracle's floor and check in with Rise.
Draymond, Steve Kerr comes back on the sidelines. Was it like not missing a beat, or was tonight a little more special, a little different?
No, it was definitely special, to have him back with us. It's been a while, and to have him back was definitely special for us. But I don't think we missed the beat. We're used to playing with each other. We're used to our coaching staff. Just adding our guy back in, that was huge. It was definitely a great night.
Where is his impact felt most on game day?
He's a lot more serious than the rest of us. He's loose, but he gets serious really fast. And, like I've always said, he just have a knack for knowing what to say at all times. And, that can be missed at times.
What is a Steve Kerr demeanor of his huddle like as compared to Luke Walton?
I think it's pretty much the same. Everybody's paying attention. They both demand attention in the huddle, and, we give them our attention and try to get done what they want us to do.
So you didn't make All-Star starter, but you're right there in the mix of those players. How does that knowledge fuel you?
That's just special, to be in the mix like that. That's nothing I could ever imagine. So, that was a special time for me, and I'm thankful to just be in the mix.
All right, well, congratulations. Thank you. Guys?
Well, Roz, the two best teams in the NBA are going to battle on Monday right here at Oracle. And for San Antonio, they're beating the Lakers tonight. 13 wins in a row. And everybody's been waiting for this game. And so Spurs beat the Lakers, the Warriors beat the Pacers. Both teams have the weekend off. And tonight was a little bit to be expected, I think. You play so well against Cleveland and Chicago. It can't be perfect every night. You credit the Pacers, but Steph Curry was brilliant.
Steph Curry was the game changer in this game. In every quarter, he just has that knack to find the moment and cash in on the moment. But I thought Indiana played a really good game. They disrupted the Warriors. They disjointed the Warriors. They made a little sloppy. You're going to have sloppy games once in a while. But the great teams manage to win games like this. So they went ahead and did that. What I think is going to happen on Monday, I think both teams are going to be at the top of their game. It's a bigger game than they'll try to downplay it. I think it's a big game on Monday.
Well, also, too, when you look at the #1 seed, if they meet in the playoffs, and it sure looks like they would, the 1 seed wouldn't likely play Oklahoma City in the second round. Okay. The 1 seed also would have Game 7 on their home court, and the Warriors have had a problem in San Antonio. I don't think you can underestimate being 1 or 2 in the West. It really matters.
Absolutely it matters to have home court advantage all throughout there. Now, is Greg Popovich going to throw a wrench in all of this and sit down Duncan and Parker?
No.
Like he did last year. Don't put it past him. He may do something crazy like that. I hope not.
Well, if he does, the Warriors will take the win, no problem. But if you look at it, this is a game we've all been waiting for. The Warriors really on a crescendo. Steve Kerr is back 38 in a row now at home. Greg, this is going to be so much fun on Monday. Both teams at the top of their game, like Jim said. Bring it on. This will be a good one.
January the 25th this year feels like December the 25th, and the Spurs are flying to Oakland as we speak. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, Kalena Azubuike, welcome to Honda Warriors postgame live. The Spurs won. Tony Parker played. Tim Duncan played. LaMarcus Aldridge did not play tonight. They're saying he has back spasms, but I think it's REST, and we'll see him on Monday as well. What do you say about the performance of Stephen Curry tonight? Took him a little while to get that last rebound to get his 7th career triple-double and 2nd of the year, Saint, but 39 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. He made 8 beyond the three-point line tonight on 15 tries.
I thought every time that Indiana knocked on the door and they're really getting close, he came up with a big score, a big rebound, a big pass, and he just dictated the terms of the game tonight. And give his teammates credit for finding him in open places, and look at him moving without the ball, and that's what makes him so difficult. It's just not the standard three-point shot. He's got a repertoire that not many in the NBA have, and obviously Draymond played well, and Clay was solid. Barbosa was good off the bench, but they needed this kind of performance from him because the bench really wasn't at top level tonight, Kalena.
Yeah, I'd say welcome back Steve Kerr. It seemed like Steph Curry really wanted to make sure they won this game for him. It was one of those in-between games where you're kind of trying to fight off looking ahead to the Spurs. First game back from a road trip. Got off to a great start. The second team had some trouble. Miles Turner was huge for the Pacers, by the way. But yeah, Steph Curry and that small lineup really closed the game out. Steph Curry was huge.
Yeah, makes 8 more threes. His last 5 games, he is 33 for 67 beyond the line. Last year, he made 3.6 threes a game, 286 total. This year, he's making about 5 a game. He may blow past 300 and get right to 400. The record is 286. He may have, he's gonna have that by St. Paddy's Day, I think. And the real call for Monday night is, who does Greg Popovich put on Steph Curry? Does he put Kawhi Leonard on Steph, or does he do what the Bulls did the other night and they put Jimmy Butler on Draymond? Do you put Kawhi Leonard on Draymond Green? That'll be fascinating on Monday.
And we did see Paul George for a good period guarding Curry, which took away the drag screen's effectiveness. So if you want to take that out of the Warriors' offense, that's the way to do it. The problem is they have so many high IQ players with passing skills that they find your weakness in your defense and they attack it. But I agree with Kalena. I really like those 2 young rookies in Turner and Young. I thought they really played well. Monte was very big in the second half. And I thought they put on a pick-and-roll clinic. I thought they were very, very good. Actually, they played better than I thought they would.
Really, after the 25-8 run, it was a pretty even game. And they came back, and the Warriors could never quite put them away until the very end. There is one concern at the end of the game. And it's Steph Curry's right hand, Kalena, as he was holding that hand right at the very end. Here he is going in for a layup to give the Warriors a 114-98 lead, and you see him go right down and grab the right hand, and he did it the whole night here. And see where he got hit. Can't quite tell. Was it Solomon Hill that came through and got him? Didn't look like a whole lot of contact there, but he was throbbing. Maybe it was before he drove the lane, but that right hand was bothering him the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's tough to tell what it was, but hopefully he gets a couple days rest here and he's ready to go for the Spurs. But yeah, I mean, this was just an amazing performance by Steph Curry. Those two half-court shots. Yeah. I got to just talk his mentality, though, because you talked about the stat. You brought it up. He's 0 for 34 in the regular season. The fact that he shoots those shots and he's not afraid to shoot them, a lot of guys will wait till the clock runs out.
Ooh,
just so it doesn't hurt their percentage. But he'll shoot it, and he doesn't care where he shoots it from. And the fact that he shoots such a great percentage of shooting those shots is unbelievable. That's one of the things that makes him great. A lot of his regular shots are heat check shots from other people, and he has the audacity to shoot
We knew
those.
He was going to make it. You could just
took his time.
He banked it in, and the stat was before on that one, he was 0 for 34 beyond 45 feet in the regular season, Saint. But we do recall about a 69-footer he made in Memphis in the closeout game. But the amazing thing about the one before the half, that was a regular jump shot. That was not the one with the thumbs out that he does with Curtis, the tunnel of love shot. He shot a jumper, Kalena, 47 feet. Who does that?
Man, the audacity of this kid, man. He will shoot any shot from anywhere. And it's like he knew he was about to make it because he took his time. He lined it up. He's like, okay, I made the last one. It didn't count. I'm going to make this one count. Banks it in. Come on now. I mean, the dude's a monster.
I think he even called Banks, Saintly. I'm not sure.
He called it.
Here's our BMW turning point, and it's going to be Curry's shot at the end of the first half. And you just had a feeling he was going to make this shot. And he does it again. He's done it so many times late in quarters, but this one is from mid-court. And then the end of the third quarter, it wasn't exactly a textbook fast break. But somehow Andre Iguodala.
Look at this.
This is the worst fast break ever, but they did finish it inside Iguodala. A little sloppy, but okay.
That is stone cold ugly, but great. I'll tell you what, I love that. Look at that. That was slipping out of Iggy's hands. I love it.
That's how you draw it up.
That's right.
You got to love it.
All right. So also, you know, we're kind of bearing the lead here. We talked about it throughout the pregame show, but Steve Kerr comes back tonight. He was in tremendous poise and calm on the bench. We're going to hear his press conference coming up live. Seemed like he was chatting with Luke Walton a lot during the game. He wasn't up really early in the game. At one point, he got up to squawk about a call, but he looked pretty much in command, kind of like he did last year, to have Steve Kerr back on the bench.
Well, when you got Steph Curry going like that, you know, you can sit down quite a bit. That does help you. And they jumped out to an early lead. I thought the starters played great in the beginning of the game, and there was a significant letdown as went to the bench. But they had the wherewithal to get that thing around 10 as we went into the second half, and it stayed around there. And I thought they were going to blow them out, but they didn't get that done.
Yeah, I mean, the Miles Turner, Monte Ellis pick and roll really hurt him. Monte Ellis played well. Like you said, they just hung around. This is one of those weird games where you're trying to fight off, not looking ahead, and they fought it off pretty well. Steph Curry and that small lineup. They did a lot of the same things that Luke Walton was doing. Obviously, that was Steve Kerr in his ear. But they went to that small lineup at the end, and they really handled things and finished the game out.
All right.
They almost had to go small because I don't think Bogues could win again, right?
And that's going to be a concern for Monday. His back was bothering him Wednesday in Chicago. We saw him right before halftime on his back trying to stretch it out. So Steve Kerr makes his triumphant return back to Oracle, gets a nice ovation. I think this is the one night Stephen Curry did not get the biggest ovation during the pregame introduction. You'll hear from Steve Kerr next on Honda Warriors Postgame Live.